Hello, and welcome back to Expanse Enduring, the Sword World Special. This is Sword World Special number 2, Heartbroken. I am your Dungeon Master, or your Game Master in this case, Hesper Lightwing, and I will be taking you through Session 4, Promises, of Expanse Enduring Heartbroken. So to bring us back, I think I want to throw the recap to the players, because I did the recap myself last time. But I think it would be cool to get your take on it, as we are in a place of remembrance.
Well, I was fond of doing Reverie recaps, so we can still do that. Well, so
just calling Reverie, and she's like, "I was here for the whole thing. Hang on."
I was watching. I was up on that there
it.
piece of the moon. I saw it. Used my big old cat eyes, looked right through the expanse, right down to see it. But it was
the whole farm used to overlook the northwest land of Altander.
It did, and I used to see it there, and I saw this whole thing unfold like it was like a little play for ants. But well, we had quite the problems. We ran into this Calantha, some sort of kobold that seems to have a thing for justice. Definitely seems to be a lawful type, but seems amicable enough. It seems like she was taken in with a bunch of those deserters and kind of couldn't make it as a night before, but seems now to have a whole bunch of titles and all this extra stuff here. And thanks to the party's, clever and very kind interjection, Calantha lived. Calantha's with the party now as they went back. Well, we couldn't get into this place. We're trying to, go solve like some sort of madness underground in a crypt in a old dead woman's brain. Still working out on that. But it's there. And we had to go back to get this key from someone who I'm pretty sure betrayed the entire kingdom, that old Kefri. Calantha seems to be a fan, but I think the whole party suspects him at this point. Then there was this fairy. Name seems to escape me right now. I don't get much noise where I am.
That's Cologne the Chime.
Okay, perfect. Well, we went down to the crypt and summoned the fairy there, and it did not go our way. A lot of eerie things were said, fae speak and all that. And here we are in a seemingly ever-shifting, not safe to be in, very dangerous crypt. What'd I miss?
Pretty solid. Cologne the Chime was a figure you had encountered during your previous visit to the crypt. Specifically, Glade has had a brief encounter. Cologne is the one who unlocked the crypt for you so that you could tend it. But Cologne also spoke of Mifanwi's madness. Queen Mifanwi of Pax, the nation of the Fae far to the south, which has a long and tumultuous history with the nation of Altander. Mifanwi is furious about stolen blood, is what Cologne revealed to you. That Mifanwi's blood was taken by the scions of Altander. And Mifanwi wanted it back, and her grief and fury had driven her to a terrible madness, creating the Curse of Gloom as a result of her fury. And now, down here, you find yourselves locked by iron bars into the Grey family crypt, the royal family of Altander, with only one way to move forward, and an oppressive, seeping, foggy gloom encroaching at all sides. The only thing keeping the gloom at bay? A pool of crystalline, clear water, cool and peaceful, at the center of this crypt, perhaps the last sanctified place here. The cracked walls overgrown with ivy and moss, the crumbling statues somehow eroded despite having lived entirely underground. Dust-covered jars and scrolls retell and recount the tale of the Grey family. And here you are, in an antechamber, about to enter a crypt, with no other way to go but forward.
This, fog. Clearly something is weird and wrong here. I've been to this crypt before, But now, with this new change in events, do I know what's happening?
I would say you could roll. I will take a knowledge roll off of this. And go ahead and give yourself a +2 on this knowledge roll. With an
With
8,
the plus
then,
2, that's an 8, yeah.
with an 8, Glade, you've been to the crypt before, and the most striking thing is you don't remember there being a pool of water here. You don't remember this place seeming so alive. You remember a solid floor, kind of a dead, oppressive silence here, and you do remember some spots where the tangle and brambles were bursting through the brick, specifically around the late Queen Fia's tomb, where she was buried separately from her husband, King Arius. But this seems to be a different vibe entirely. Now, you're familiar with the concept of an abyss, of a shallow abyss. And now, generally, this results from demonic or devilish influence, but it is also a trick the Fae can employ. Where an area is, in some way, small or large, transformed and becomes a different version of itself.
So, Glade will sort of look around and squint, and then down to the pool of water, and then at the party. This is Fae trickery.
Out of character, the last session just ended with the, like, I'm pretty sure it just ended with the doors closing, right?
Yes.
And also another question.
Yes.
My horse is probably outside, right?
I will leave that up to you. If you want to bring your horse in here, you can.
I don't think bringing a horse into a crypt, like underground, would make any sense. So I think it makes more sense for Hindthorn to have been outside.
It would be pretty close quarters to be riding a horse in here.
Yeah.
The ceiling is about 9 feet tall. It's pretty conservative, but you'd be scraping your head. So.
And the look Glade would have shot you would have been piercing if you tried to bring a horse into a crypt.
Yeah.
Ariani, your eyes go to the gate with the stairs leading up, and where previously you saw sunlight streaming in and Hyanthon watching you, you see only darkness. That swirling black fog encroaches on all sides.
Ariani will, kind of concerned, she will walk back to where they'd entered to see if it can be opened.
You put your hand on the gate, and you find it is cold, almost icy to the touch. Frozen and bitter in a way that is normally reserved for the truly brokenhearted. You feel a sense of pain, jealousy, anger, this fury at having been wronged, and this indignant justice, or lack thereof, at having been stolen from. The emotions penetrate your hand and suffuse through you for just a moment, and you look up and you see that that's what the mist is. The fog is that emotion, given form.
Ariani kind of pulls her hand away and sort of takes a step back. She kind of looks to the others. Something's wrong.
This water you said this wasn't here before, right?
You do not remember it being here. I would say 99% confident. Unless
I
it was covered up very
investigate the
cleverly.
water.
Glade, what do you want to do to investigate the water?
The first thing I do is I look at it. I assume it just looks like water.
It is placid and serene. The surface of it sort of tinkles with a soft light. And in fact, you note that there aren't any light sources in the room, and that it is the water itself that appears to be illuminating the room. There is a soft, lambent glow.
Is it a reasonable assumption that I would have an empty glass bottle of some sort?
Probable.
I did buy the adventurer's kit. I did buy that.
I would say probable, yeah.
I would like to take a jar of this shiny water and see what happens.
As you dip your hand into the water, its warmth surprises you. Not hot or unpleasantly warm water, but there is a sense of comfort to it, like a warm sunbeam on a cold day. But just as you lift the glass bottle out of the water, you note that the water very quickly sort of sinks in color, and by the time you bring it up to your eyes to take a closer look, the water has just turned into an ordinary flask of water.
I pour the water back in.
It vanishes among the glowing water.
Right. Anything etched along the inside of the pool? Any like blessings that are written in, or anything that I could see that would make this water what it is?
You see, not along the pool, but along the back wall, and I think the others are able to see this too since you're investigating the water, you do see writing. And it says, in the common tongue, here is recorded the history from Second Starfall, the Renaissance of Altander.
Well, and Glade stands up and looks to the only way to go, which is further in. I think we just sort of have to go see what this place has in store for us then.
I am going to
It
ask
looks that way.
3 people in the party to make checks. One of them is Calantha, and I have failed. And then I need Ariani to make me a willpower roll, and I need Gregorio to make me a knowledge roll, please.
Oh. No.
Calantha attempts to draw her blade, but it is stuck in the scabbard. There is a soft kind of purplish blue sparkle when she tries to draw it. And a
15.
voice whispers near her, "This lesson is not for you, Chosen. Stay thy blade."
Oh.
Ariani with a 15. You, where Calantha seems a little bit restricted, Ariani, you feel almost bouncy. There is an energy that is holding you aloft, like the air itself is a little buoyant. Moving is so much easier right now. Almost as if the puppet strings have been maintained and cared for more thoroughly than usual. Ariani, you have a +1 on all of your attacks and evasion rolls and saving throws.
Okay.
Gregorio with an automatic success. That's a roll of double sixes. I'm going to give you this straight up. Gregorio, that water is something special. And you think Glade had the right idea, but the wrong tools. It's enchanted. And you, as a master of Magitech, are accustomed to dealing with enchanted fluids and tinctures and tonics. You know, it just needs to be contained the right way. You need to keep the magic from draining out, because while the glass will hold the water physically in, the glass does nothing to hold the magic in. If you devote a magisphere to this purpose, you think you could probably contain some of that water.
Okay, I'm just going to look to Glade and just say, "You want to take some of this water with you?"
Oh, do you have a way? And I'm saying this as I'm using my shield to try and like scoop up and see if it falls out of that as you say that. That would be wonderful.
Gregorio's going to have like both his hands out. He's like, no, stop that. You'll just get your shield wet. Stop that.
It's all. That was my third try. It's already soaked.
Well, I think I have an idea, but if you really want to take some of that with you, I can probably help. And he's just going to kind of, probably the smallest magisphere, like the one that makes up his hand. He's just going to kind of crouch in front of it and kind of tap a few things on the side. The fingers are just going to retract in, so it's just a ball, and it's going to open up. He's just going to kind of try and scoop some up, and then as he scoops, he's going to put his hand in to quickly close it shut to like lock it shut. And he's just going to bring his hand up. His fingers haven't come back out. His fingers are still retracted in. And he's just going to kind of hold his arm to his chest, and just kind of look to everyone and say, "Try to make sure I don't get jostled too much. I don't want to spill any of it with whatever we're about to face." And he just gestures vaguely in the direction of the open pathway.
With a soft pulse, sort of a vroom, 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 vroom. You all watch as the glitter from the surface of the water flows into Gregorio's now detached hand, or briefly detached hand. And then his arm becomes suffused with the same sort of glow that the water previously had. And the mist closes in a little bit. Near where Calantha's standing, she runs away to the other side with sort of a yipe. And you find that Gregorio is now the anchor point for your little bubble of safety.
Oh, I just kind of wanted to have it. I didn't think this was going to happen.
Well, that's what experiments are for, I suppose. Everyone, make sure you stay close to me. It seems to be having some sort of effect on the gloom down here. Try not to get too far ahead, or try not to fall behind.
Right, something's... I don't know exactly what's going on, but it seems to be... I think it's something to do with the Fae.
Calantha nods and sort of scowls, her ears sort of flatten. I am unable to draw my blade. I shall be of no assistance to thee.
They seem to like you, Calantha.
Ginga reaches to their side and tries to draw their blade. Not quickly, but just gives their sword a little tug out of the sheath to make sure.
It slides gently and silently as always.
Okay.
Gregorio's just going to kind of reach down to Calantha with his normal hand and just kind of gently push her in front of him and just say, well, then in that case, you should stay extra close to us. And kind of hold her in place.
She bristles a little bit at being treated so small. I shall endeavor to be not an obstacle to thee.
Well, only one way to go. We should probably go.
Right. I feel strange. We should move.
I'll go first. I know this crypt like the back of my hand. I have only been here once out of character, and I did not go deep. I want that to be known.
Immediately do not recognize the layout.
I out loud go, I immediately don't recognize where we are.
I just like you're going, I know this place like the back of my hand, taking one confident step. I'm lost.
Yes.
Real blade.
I am not used to crypts rearranging themselves. That is new. It could be a shallow abyss of some sort.
It's not a common behavior for crypts that I've been in.
But it's a sometimes behavior. Is that what you were saying?
You know,
No.
you could roll a knowledge if you like. This is sort of your forte.
Let me see. 8.
I would say broadly you're familiar with the concept of a shallow abyss or a variant dungeon, a place that another reality has exerted itself upon. You've encountered spaces like that, probably never specifically in a crypt, but you do get that vibe.
Well, I'll join.
Non-zero chance that this is a shallow abyss, but either way, I don't like it.
Neither do I. This is the resting place of the dead. It shouldn't be disturbed with such things. Confidently, Glady is going to start walking into this darkness. And hope that people do follow her.
Let's arrange ourselves. We need Gregorio in the middle, and I would assume Rena somewhere at the back, and perhaps Calantha with Gregorio where it's safest, and I will also be at the front.
Calantha bristles again. My pride may be wounded, but my loyalty to thee is not. I shall do as you ask.
Thank you. Right, I've read a lot about close quarter combat, if it comes to that. So, hopefully we should be
Kinga
okay.
turns and looks at Ariani. Reading and actually being in close quarters combat are two entirely different things. Don't always remember what page and what paragraph to pull information from.
I usually remember.
Kalantha gives a
Glade,
soft little bark of agreement.
Glade has fully pulled out one of her daggers and like started stabbing at the air, and she's like, I can do close quarter combat too.
Ariani doesn't actually have her spear on her. It's back with her in thumb. So you see that she pulls out this rapier that's sort of black and gold in color. Built more for kind of combat when she's not riding a mount. Should we
Glade audibly goes, oh, oh, oh.
I'm prepared for situations where I'm not able to ride Anthem.
I can see this. Quite the fancy little thing you've got there.
Thank you. It's
Pricey, I imagine.
yes, it's one of my family's swords.
Been meaning to talk to you about that whole thing. Is this a good time, or should I wait?
No, I think this is not a good time. Let's wait until
Okay.
we're out of the mystery catacomb that is shrouded by fog that makes you feel strange emotions and makes your body feel strange.
Well, I think it's perfectly normal to feel strange emotions in a crypt. Who hasn't?
Beyond that, when I touched the door, it felt sorrowful.
I've felt it throughout this kingdom since I set foot in here. But here in particular, it does seem to be overwhelming now. Was this what it was like when you went to the fountain?
Yes. It was.
I had
It's really awful.
I had noticed brambles had covered one of the graves, the late queen. She was buried separately, away from the rest of her family. The family she married into.
You think that's where we need to go?
I think it's a starting point. I'm not sure if it's the source of all of this, but it has something to do with it. I'm more and more confident.
Right.
Whatever is causing this, it is very sad, and it is very lonely. We should go.
Yes.
Gregory is just going to raise his hand and be like, I actually don't have a sword, so if you could make good on all this high talk about close combat, and maybe, if anything unfortunate crawls out of here, get a few good hits in before it gets to me.
Do you want a knife? I have 10.
Why do you have so many?
The rest of us are like, you what?
Oh,
Do you collect them?
oh, yeah. And I reach I reach into one of my sleeves and I pull out 2, and then I reach into another sleeve and there's 2 more. I reach under the central flap on my dress and pull out 3 more. I lift up one of the lace dresses around my leg where there are like 2 more strapped, and then on the other one the same.
Just under her breath, Rena's like, no wonder the wind never affected your dress.
Yes, it's weighted down by a lot of metal.
The spikiest Goku training arc.
If you want a knife, I can let you borrow one.
Gregorio kind of looks at her, pondering for a second. And kind of, he doesn't say anything, but like he raises an eyebrow as he watches her pull all of these knives out from every conceivable part of the dress. And he just kind of looks and says, as a last resort, I'll borrow one if that's okay. I'll return it to you once we.
Oh, fantastic! And without thinking, she flips it over so that she's holding the blade, and then throws it to you with the handle directly just heading for your chest.
I only have one hand. Okay.
Oh.
Do I need to roll to catch that?
No, I think you're okay. You could fumble it a little bit if you want to, but I think it's not an attack, so.
Okay. He just kind of catches it and kind of slides it into the top of his
Oh, I thought that was gonna hit you.
Were you trying?
I thought we could all use some levity. I thought throwing a knife at Gregorio was a good start.
No!
It wasn't gonna hurt him.
It's a knife!
But this is a handle.
Luckily, I'm a little bit more dexterous than you might think.
Clearly.
He just kind of slides it into not into his boot, into his waist, into his belt, like the belt on his like coverall kind of thing. I'm sure it will serve me well.
Probably. I hope so. Anybody else? And Glade's eyes immediately go to the only other weaponless person being Rena.
He has a bow.
Okay.
And you proceed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not long before the group comes to a junction. To your left, a small pillared room appears. There is the sense of a stately burial, but somewhere quiet, sort of off the beaten path. And then to your right, a long hallway extends into deeper gloom.
I guess it makes sense
like
to follow the gloom, huh?
here.
The gloom will probably lead us to our destination. If we're looking to investigate further, perhaps we should go to the other areas. We may get more information.
Ginga, your fingers trace along the wall. There is a dust-covered plaque. And it reads, Ordo Gallant, on the hallway to the south.
Oh. They kind of brush the plaque a little bit, see if there's anything else maybe hidden by, ages of dust and disuse.
It says 520 TA, interred with honor. Now, 520 TA specifically is a time almost exactly 50 years ago. Ginga, it's an era that stands out in your memory as the date the Ordo Gallant was first dissolved. There is a bit of history here, Ginga, that you know, I would say through allusion and tale within the Ordo. From specifically some older members who were there when it was dissolved, like a member who might be a dwarf, for example. You know that the Ordo Gallant was dissolved due to failure to protect the royal bloodline. A disaster happened.
Which means there are probably knights from the order buried here from before its dissolution.
Can the rest of us see this plaque, or is it only
Yeah.
Ginga?
No, everybody can see it. Just Ginga happened to be near it.
Glade is now lurking, over your shoulder, Ginga, looking at this plaque, so we're gonna go in there, right?
You should at least have a look.
We should check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a group, you make your way down into this small little chamber. And here you find a few things. First, to the northeast, a statue of Lyria, the goddess who oversees the lands of humanity. On the wall to the north, a pennant of the royal family, the Grey family, the royal family of Altander, the rulers. To be buried alongside the rulers is a tremendous, tremendous honor. And there are also in here 2 stone sarcophagi, mostly plain, kind of austere, with plaques on them.
I read the plaques.
Ginga, as you approach one of the sarcophagi, you start to hear sounds. You start to hear the sounds of clashing blades somewhere distantly, the shouting of soldiers, the scream of a woman, the flare of spellfire, and the closer you get, the louder those sounds become.
I am undeterred. I want to see who is buried here.
Ginga, you step into the center of it. A moment. Ginga, you are overtaken by a battle around you. And there is a rush of energy. Everybody sees this colored light sort of spread out from Ginga's feet, and you are all swept up into a battlefield. You're in a forest. Flames lick at the canopy. Armed men with leather and steel and chain clash and cross blades. Spellfire arcs across the battlefield. A woman in a cage hangs perilously over a pit of coals, only a few feet away from certain death. And a man, a blonde human man wielding spellfire, stands just before her. Ginga, the inscriptions on the 2 sarcophagi to your left and your right as you enter the scene read, "Here is entombed Lakai, the last quester of Altander. May he be remembered fondly." And the other one reads, "Here is entombed Pidgwin, whose body failed but whose courage lives on." And a voice rings out to everyone. It is a familiar voice. It is Kalon, the chime, who trapped you down here. "Ah, here's a fun one. The history of the Ordo Gallant. Now play the hand of fate and show us what happened." And I'm going to put you on a battlefield.
What is happening?
Glade is enamored. Wonder is in her eyes.
Ariani's very worried.
Now I'm going to go ahead and paste some tokens on here. And I'm going to arrange them. Roll20 just duplicated all the tokens.
That's
Hold on,
so
I need to
cool,
reload.
roll
It's so
20.
funny. I love
That's so
Roll20.
cool.
It's so useful and good.
The best part is that it didn't duplicate for us.
Who is that little
I love
eyeball
when it
man?
does
I
that.
love him.
Mhm.
Who is the eyeball man?
Voltron.
I
So,
love him.
I'm going to place everybody where they belong. At
Mhm.
0, a girl in a cage, hanging perilously moments from death.
Mm.
She has a soft and fair countenance, but she has a striking gem tone to her eyes. You recognize one of the royal bloodlines of Ennam. And again, little history lessons for people in Ennam. 5 great dragons arrived from beyond the stars, planted the goddess tree and grew it and divided it into 5 kingdoms. These 5 great dragons had mortal descendants. Those are the rulers of the 5 kingdoms. So to clarify, this girl is a ruler, a person who bears the blood of the dragon. I think that's set to loop? Yeah, that's set to loop. So, standing near this woman is a man in a white robe, blonde hair, a man with clearly mixed elven and human heritage, like very obviously wearing the colors of both parents in his genes. His arms spread wide, spellfire leaps from his fingers. And around you, Lycant and Wolfen soldiers, beings of mingled beast and human blood, and standing opposite the battlefield from you, Lakai, the last quester of the Ordo Gallant, and Pidgwin, his faithful. Play the hand of fate and show us what happened. We're gonna roll initiative.
Okie dokie.
All right.
One.
Okie
I should bring up
dokie.
the combat tracker, shouldn't I?
Maybe.
Hmm.
There we go. And everybody here. Oh, actually, hold on. I think. Let me double check a number here.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. Our initiative is a 12. So it looks like this dragon-blooded warrior, Lakai, wielding a golden sword, swept with a dramatic blue cape, is a little bit taken aback by the ferocity of this warlock's attacks. However, a small mechanical construct, little more than like a ball with an eye and some soft little wings, made of brass and wood and cogs, sort of tugs at Lakai's cloak and gets his attention, and leans up and says, Master, Master, new foes. And Lakai wields his blade at you, and he levels it down at Ginga, and says, no matter how many foes Hestisnar throws, I shall save the princess. And so in 12, he rushes. And he's going to be followed by his compatriot Pidgewin. Pidgewin is going to clank. Protection! And an aura spreads out from him, and you watch this gleaming blue sort of cover Lakai and Pidgewin. And Lakai levels a swing down at the warlock, who takes a brutal hit and is actually sent back a little bit. Ginga, the warlock, Hestisnar, you know the name, as the warlock who kidnapped a princess long ago, 50 years back, sort of falls back into you and scowls and says, we will not falter. Come, warriors, to arms. But that's going to be their initiative. So for the party initiative, I'm going to mostly narrate what the monstrous NPCs are doing. The Lycan soldiers charge the front line. The warlock fades back amidst the ranks into safety, arcing spellfire across the battlefield. Lakai catches spellfire with his blade, and his blade glows brighter and brighter with every spell he deflects. He's charging up a big attack. And he is throwing his cape around with a metal bar inside of it, parrying blows with the flow of his cape, using his offhand. The princess shrieks. She is clearly distressed, but it is difficult to hear exactly what she's saying over the din of battle. And now it's the party's turn.
I throw a knife at the Ordo Gallant. I throw a knife at him.
Yeah, that's going to be an attack roll.
Yep. Glade looks almost delighted, like it's a show she's watching and that she gets to participate. And she's like, "Oh yes, of course!" As she throws the knife, and it's a 13 to hit.
13 to hit. I'm going to roll an evasion. Ooh. Hold on. We're looking at Glade. That is not going to be a hit. That's going to be a 14 on the evasion roll.
Makes sense.
He whirls his cloak up and catches your knife. Your knife just sort of vanishes into the folds of his cape.
I look positively delighted as I do deploy my geograph just in case.
Ginga recognizes what this is. This is the battle. This is where the Ordo Gallant arrived to save Princess Tenora from Hestisnar, and succeeded in killing him and his cronies, but also lost the princess in the process.
Correct. That's Princess Tenora. That is King Irius's sister. who died in her teenage years at the hands of Hestus Nar. Irius, the man who made the wonders, had a sister, and that's her in the cage.
We have to play the hand of fate. I don't know if we're meant to win this battle.
But neither are they.
I do wish this game had an inspiration system, because that's a good catch, Ryu.
Ariani looks stunned for a moment, and then eventually kind of... I read about this. This is when the king's sister was... We failed to rescue her. Oh, are we just supposed to let that happen?
It already
He's
happened.
supposed to die?
This isn't real. This is the hand of fate. The hand of fate is that he fights, he defeats them, but she perishes.
So you're just gonna do what that Fae said?
What do you think you're going to change with an illusion? You cannot bring the dead back. You cannot undo what has been done. We can, in our present time, rectify it, but this isn't real. We are standing right now at there, and I point like past the warlock, who I am not treating like they're real. And I point at the two farthest away from us. Those, we're at their sarcophagi. What do you want to do?
Not kill a girl right in front of me.
Good news. It's an illusion.
Ariani scowls.
The least you can do is face death. If you run away from it forever, it will haunt you.
Gregorio frowns when she says this. Not in the way that she can see, but he does scowl.
So what do we do then? Do we even fight here?
We can try. And I noticed the attack charging up, but I don't think it will matter. Do your best. Try and fight against fate.
Fine, I will. Ariana's gonna
the worst
attack
that happens is nothing.
the spellway guy who's hidden in the ranks.
All right, yeah. That's the warlock Hestus Nar. Now, you're a history buff, Ariani.
I am.
You recognize Hestus Nar as the leader of the Narite Rebellion. The Narite Rebellion took place like 2 generations ago. It's 50 years ago now. The Narite Rebellion was led by the prevailing belief that the royal family had no right to rule, that blood did not determine validity. The Narite Rebellion was a populist rebellion. But this dude captured the blood of the dragon to sacrifice her.
And Ariani's gonna stab him. So she's wielding her rapier.
He does not expect the attack. Give yourself a +2.
Hell yeah.
+2.
So that's 14.
This guy's important, and I'm stabbing him.
Actually, it's I can use my aimed attack to get +1 bonus to accuracy, so that's actually a 15.
All right, I'm rolling 2d6 +4 for his evasion. He is a spellcaster. That is 2 6s.
Okay.
That is a 16.
Okay.
Ariani, here's what happens. You have a moment of realization, and you turn on Hestus Nar, and as your rapier thrusts towards him, he throws his spellbook up at the last second, narrowly avoiding, and as your blade plunges through the spellbook, you watch as it comes out the other side. Rather than a rapier, you are looking at a broadsword blade, slick with blood. And he catches your blade in the book, and it nearly reaches his throat, and he looks down and up at you and says, "A betrayal from my own general? You'd think I didn't see it coming." And he shoves the book away, setting you a little bit off balance, and he leaves his spellbook. "I've no need of such contrivances. For power belongs to all!" And he cries out, and the battlefield resonates with the cheers of his men.
Ariani's...
When your blade, you draw it out of the book, and it goes back to being your rapier.
Ariani's very confused. And she starts to sort of talk about and recite the book. She starts to recite like this event, this battle, like that she's read in a book. But she kind of stops herself. And she's not going to activate Flowing Fortunes. And she just seems very stuck and unsure, and that's all for me.
All right, that's Ariani. I believe Glade threw a knife.
I am maybe sitting down at this point, if I am allowed to sit down after that.
Of course.
So I can use my gun, right?
Totally.
Okay. I really want to shoot this little thing in the eye.
That's Pidgewin! Are you gonna shoot Pidgewin?
Get him. He looks too much like a Motron. Get him.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Actually, get him.
It does!
I was on
He's
Team
just a little
Pidgewin.
guy.
I was on Team Pidgewin, but then you said Modron. Get him, Rena. He's got a bullseye.
Found
Get him.
you!
He's just a little guy.
No, not
Found
found
All
you.
his enemies!
Not found you. Not found you. No.
That's a reference to
No, I
very
know what
That's a good reference.
I know
That's
what
a
that
good
is.
reference.
And I don't like it.
All right, I'm gonna roll an evasion. 2d6 plus a 3. Rena, that's a 9. Your bullet, followed by the clap of thunder and the white sort of line that sparkles away into iridescence, just narrowly misses, just sort of deflecting off of his hide, or off of his plating, excuse me. His body twists in response to the shot, but he does not take any damage. And he does not, like, show any sign of responding to it. So, who's next?
Ginga will close the gap between himself and Akai.
Lakai looks at you. Ah, the betrayer shows their face.
Oh.
Where is thy armor, proud warrior?
You want to face my full might? Then so be it. And Ginga draws their mask, carves an X into the air, leaving behind blue flames in front of them as they clash back into their cloak and traveler's clothes as they yell, "Put on!" And the clothes transform into the armor of the Ordo Galant. They slam the face mask onto their mouth, and their helmet appears. For the people! And Ginga takes a swing.
All right. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna get a roll on that one.
Glade cheers really loudly for the people.
All right, that's going to be a 7 evasion. That's a 13, Ginga. That's a hit.
All right.
Oh!
Goodness.
That's a crit! That's a crit, baby!
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Not arena level crit, but still a crit.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see arena level.
I don't think we'll
again, to
ever
be
The
see
fair.
legendary Rena crit.
So that's 16 total.
Yes.
Ginga, your blade catches the sun and glows with this blue light as you slash it down. He throws up his guard at the last second, but is not fast enough, and sparks crash as you find the doublet that he's wearing sparks like metal as you bring it down, and you do cut across it, and he kind of whirls away and takes he shakes and clears his head as the sparks kind of settle around him, and he blinks, he narrows his eyes. But he'll have a chance to respond on his turn. That means Gregorio.
Yep. So Gregorio's going to watch all of this unfolding, like seeing the bullets whiz past and the swords going in both directions towards the warlock and the swordsman on the opposite side. He's just going to drop to one knee and just start grumbling and scowling. He's like, "Can't expect me to fight in these conditions. I have to have my equipment." And he is going to detach all 3 of his magispheres. The big one that's attached to his shoulder, the smaller one in the middle that makes up like an elbow, and the the smallest one that makes up his hand. All the rods and poles that connect to form his arm are going to retract in, and he's going to hold out his good hand, and they're going to hover in front of him, and he's going to basically redistribute the water from the smaller sphere into the larger one, and just kind of basically unscrews with like a whirring motion, and he's just going to basically pour the water into the larger one, and then they're going to reconnect back onto his arm, and he's going to extend his gun barrel, but he's going to shout up to Ariani, "I don't know how this is supposed to play out, but if you really want to stab that guy, sword up!" And he's going to aim his hand, and the smaller magisphere is going to detach, fly towards Ariani and attach to the base, to the hilt of her rapier. I'm going to cast Effect Weapon and imbue it with lightning. So you get a +1 with the physical damage that you deal.
Okay.
Hell yeah!
And that's my turn. He's gonna stay down on one knee. Just like scowling and grumbling to himself, like, "I don't even know how this is supposed to play out, but everyone else seems to have heard this story before."
Thank you, Gregorio.
Make it count.
Ariani kind of, her sword like crackling with electricity. She does a couple of test sort of slices with it, just at the air.
That's my turn.
That's the full party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're gonna go back to the I suppose your foe's turn. Pidgeon sort of plants his feet and throws his hands out and says, "Buff power!" And you see electricity sort of travel along the battlefield and up Lakai's blade. Lakai levels this blade, gleaming now brilliant white, at Ginga. And Lakai says, "Dragon's roar! Wings of Lakai!" and leaps into the air, and you watch as Pidgeon sort of slams up into the air onto Lakai's back, and with this clash of metal, Pidgeon's body forms into armor around Lakai's upper torso, and massive wings sprout from Lakai's back, and Lakai soars into the air, making a ferocious diving thrust at Ginga, trailing lightning and flame.
God, they're so
Nancy, I
anime.
could've stopped this.
It's so cool.
I need an invasion at an 18, Ginga.
Okay, here we go. 15.
That's a 15. Let me make some roll here. Ginga, I'm gonna deal to you. Please take 18 points of physical damage.
Oof.
That's reduced by defense.
All right, so 16.
And I've charged up twice. That is gonna be 16 points of magical damage as he discharges his blade. And then with a smash, sparks fly, he flaps his wings and beats back up into the air. He is able to retreat about 5 feet, forcing you to chase him before making an attack.
Oh my god. Oh, that hurt a lot.
Come,
actually.
betrayer! And he actually looks across the battlefield, looks at Hestus Nar, and then looks at you, Ginga, and says, "The Ordo Galant has splintered, but my resolve remains pure. No matter how many warlocks you hire, no matter how many sorcerous mercenaries you employ, the Princess Tenora shall be protected." And seems to be looking at you as the leader, Ginga. That's gonna be their turn. Now we're gonna move on to the good guys? Question mark? Turn? Tenora is still screaming something, unable to be heard over the din of battle.
Question mark. Does Ginga know anything? Do I know anything about there being a splinter or a traitor in the order when this happened?
No word of it is recorded. What you know is that Hestus Nar was it was a warlock who rose up against the royal family and sparked a rebellion called the Narite Rebellion, of whom later, when Queen Thea was assassinated 4 years ago, the assassin claimed to be a member of the Narite Rebellion, which had been quelled, obviously 50 years ago. So everybody thought it was like a weird thing. Nobody really made sense of it. The assassin was executed immediately. Ginga, there's no record of a traitor within the ranks of the Ordo Galant, but there's also vague wording about the fate of Princess Tenora. Tenora's body was believed to be recovered, but mangled and burned beyond recognition.
I see.
So it's the party's turn.
My lack of interest in fighting against fate aside, I do not want to see my party die. So I am going to heal Ginga.
Yeah, that was kind of my big blow, so...
Yeah, that was... I'm glad you're alive.
Whoa.
Let's see if I successfully cast it, first and foremost. I do. And it is a power 10. Six whole damage. That's about as low as it gets.
Ginga, heal 6.
It's better than nothing. But Glade looks a little perturbed that it was only that much. And as my turn does end.
Who's next?
Ariana, so you said that the girl, the princess, right? She's
Princess Tenora, yeah.
She's trying to say something?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like in a cage.
Yes, she's in a cage suspended over a pit of hot coals.
How far away is that?
I will say probably about 20 meters from you.
Okay.
Kind of off the battlefield.
But if I got closer, I could hear.
You'd have to probably spend your whole turn getting closer and then making an observation check, but yes.
Ariane.
Would you like to do that?
Ariane kind of looks at a lightning sword and then at the things playing out around her. And she looks at Gregorio and just says, "Sorry, Gregorio." And she's gonna run towards the princess and try to hear what she's trying to say.
Give us that observation check.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that is. Hold on. There it is. That's a 13.
With a 13, Princess Sonora is grabbing at the bars of her cage and screaming across the battlefield, "Stop! You're not enemies!" And she looks down at you, seeing you, her eyes searching frantically, whether you're an ally or an enemy. "Please, you have to stop them! This is wrong!"
What's happening? Why shouldn't they fight?
"We've been deceived!" And that's where we're gonna wrap that action. We'll have to spend more
Okay,
actions if
yeah.
we want to do more.
That'll be my turn.
Rina's
Who's
gonna
next?
try to shoot him down.
Okay. Rena, take a shot at Lakai. I'll roll that evasion.
Another 13.
That's a 13. Sorry, Rena. With the armor that Pidgeon has given him, your bullet clangs off of the armor, sending multicolored sparks into the air, but doing no damage. Who's next? Gregorio, Glade, Ginga?
I
Oh, Glade went.
remind me
I've already
again,
healed, yeah.
Minor actions are I can move minor action, major action.
You can do as many minor actions as you want, as long as you're not doing the same one over and over again, pretty much.
Okay.
And you can do any number of them at any point during your turn.
Okay.
The within reason rule comes to
Within,
mind.
yeah, the within reason
Within
rule.
reason. Okay. Then a minor action, Ginga shifts into their alternate form. Their skin is mostly covered at this point, but you do notice that the horns sticking out from their helmet grow ever so slightly. And they are going to cast Earth Heal on themselves.
Lakai looks down. "Thou showest thine true colors, blood of Baronot."
That's power 0. Oh, 4. All right.
It's something.
It's something.
Together, we almost healed you a decent amount, but we managed to break double digits.
There we go.
It's okay because Ginga just won't be hit ever again.
That's the idea. But that is
that
my
means
turn.
Gregorio is the only one left.
Okay, so Gregorio watches Glade and Ginga both casting healing magic, and notices it doesn't take much effect, and he just kind of sighs and he says, "Well, if this is all just one big illusion, then nothing that happens here matters, right? And it's all whatever happens in the strange fantasy dimension stays in the strange fantasy dimension, correct? Not to anybody. He just kind of says it out loud." And he's going to move here. He's going to move. How far can I move forward during a fight? I don't really move much.
So you can, if you're doing anything casting a spell,
To
you can only
here.
take a limited move, which is a 3-meter move. If
3
you're
meters.
not, if you're not casting a spell, and it's only major action spells that have this restriction. Minor action spells you can cast and move
Yeah.
freely. If you're casting a spell as a major action, you can move 3 meters. Otherwise, you can move the movement that is listed at the top of your sheet. It's based on your
Right, okay.
stats.
I can't get within 10 meters of Gregorio, of Ginga, can I, from where I was, because I was here.
Depends on what your movement is. How many meters do you need to be from Ginga?
I need to be 10 meters from him, and I need to be able to cast a major action. My movement...
You won't be able to do
is-
that, no. You'll be one space shy.
Okay. In that case, he's gonna kind of look over to Ariani, and just kind of say, "Well, if you're not using it, I know someone else who can." And he's gonna pull the Magisphere back from. Obviously, her rapier stays electrified, but the small Magisphere is gonna fly onto Ginga's sword, if they allow it, and I'm gonna cast Effect Weapon on them.
Yeah, go for it.
The magic sphere flies across the battlefield, connects to Ginga's sword, sort of like deforms and shapes around the pommel.
and a cyclone starts to form around the blade as it's imbued with wind magic.
Ooh.
All right.
And I'm gonna end my turn.
I believe that's the full party, right?
Yeah, I can't move enough to do what I wanted to do, so I'll end there.
Hestus Nar crouches down and says, "The betrayer has fled. Cover me. I will end this now," and begins channeling a powerful spell. This spell, to those of you with the knowledge of magic, will fire in 3 actions, which means this is 1. They begin chanting. The lichens move forward and continue swarming the battlefield. Also, you note... Sorry, 1 second. Need to grab another token from over here. Some other soldiers, members of the Ordo Gallant, begin to enter the battlefield from somewhere beyond. And they'll be active next turn. Reinforcements have arrived. So in the opposition's turn, Lakai, locked on you with furious focus, Ginga, continues monologuing. "Blood of Baronot, thy cruelty, thy unimaginable cruelty shall not survive this day. For I, keeper of Valami's legacy, shall slay thee where thou standst!" And raises his blade high above his head again. "Dragon's cry! Blood and tears!" And slams his blade down, sending a shockwave at you, Ginga.
Oof.
That's going to be an evasion roll of a 19, Ginga.
Oh, I don't know if I can hit that. That's gonna have to be.
You can do this. Yeah!
Yeah! Holy shit!
Oh my gosh.
Very nice.
Ginga, a slash, like a blade beam, like an arc of like dark black swirling black and purple energy, dark dragon power, absolutely shoots out at you and just streaks across the battlefield towards you, like ready to bifurcate you, ready to cut you fully in half. Ginga, how do you deflect this? That's a really good roll.
This shockwave comes sailing at Ginga. They take a stance and hammer their sword into the ground, splitting the shockwave in 2 in front of them. It splits into a Y.
Ginga, as you do so, you note your blade gleams with unfamiliar bluish light. And there is a sort of bluish dragon fire to counter the black and purple. And just for a moment, it sort of flickers on your blade, and it feels oddly familiar. But that is going to be the opposition's turn. We're back to the hero's turn. Hestus Nar begins round 2 of his incantation. Next round, it goes off. But the heroes get their turns now.
Okay. Ariani is still trying to talk to this this princess. And she's gonna like throw off her hood just to like hear better. As I believe she asked at the end of her last turn, like, why? What happened?
You could climb up to where her cage is. You'd put yourself in a bit of peril here, but you could potentially climb like the rig that's holding up her cage.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Go ahead and roll for me. What are we gonna call this? We're gonna call this a technique, or no, a movement roll. Movement
Okay.
is one of your skill packages on the first page.
I can do that. So that's a 14.
14 is totally enough. Ariana, you clamber up to the cage. You're like pirate hanging from the rigging, like one foot and one hand, kind of like hanging on the side of the cage. And Princess Sonora looks at you. She wraps her hands around yours on the bars of the cage and clasps your hand in hers with desperation in her eyes. "Please, it's not about royalty or commoners. It's not about magic. It's the dragons. It's always been."
What do you mean?
"Look!" And she points out to the battlefield, and you see Ginga splitting a blade beam in half with a super cool parry. And you see Lakai soaring up into the air, but you see colossal forces behind them for just a moment. With her description, maybe theatrically, you can see a wave of blue rising up from where Ginga is and a wave of black coming down to crush it behind them. Don't you see? None of this matters. None of this matters.
I think you cut out there for a second.
She says,
Yeah.
none of this matters. Not a bit of it. They're all wasting their blood for nothing. Please, you have to stop them.
Ariani is kind of she's still like wide-eyed and confused, but she I mean, like how real does this illusion feel? Like the princess's hands clasped around hers, like she feels that, right?
You feel her warmth.
Yeah.
Despite everything about your body, you feel her warmth.
Ariani, she nods. I'll get them to stop.
Don't let them hurt Hestus.
She nods and she am I able to climb back down or
I think we'll reserve that for turn 3. You're
Okay.
spending your action to uncover lore here.
Okay, in that case, can I like try to shout or talk?
Yeah, absolutely. If you have one desperate cry across the battlefield, now's the time to make it. Because Hestus' spell goes off in one more round.
Ariani will shout to everyone, "We have to stop the fighting!" And that'll be my turn.
Glade tuts under her breath and shakes her head as she heals Ginga.
All right.
Let me make sure it goes 12. That does go. That one's a little better.
Nice.
As Glade's voice rings out across the battlefield, a nice chilling cold heals you for 9, Ginga.
Cool. Literally.
True.
Ginga closes the gap and says to Lakai, "You're gonna have to do better than cheap tricks to defeat me."
Ooh. Okay, let me roll that. That is a 17. Do you roll 6 plus 7? That's a 13 to evade. Ginga, that's a hit.
Oh, here we go. 13 damage.
Remember, you got 14 with your wind damage.
Oh, okay, cool.
An extra
Oh.
one.
One more, and it's so does it add on wind damage, or does it convert the attack's damage type?
It's still physical damage. It just increases the physical
Okay.
damage it causes by 1.
Okay, so defense still counts. Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Okay. Ginga, your blade smashes down once again. Sparks fly. Lakai staggers back, sort of shakes his head, clears it, and he starts to mutter under his breath, "Thou wilt not strike me again, betrayer." And they sort of twist the hilt of their blade, preparing some kind of counterattack. That's going to be Gregorio and Rena then, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm
Rena, do
I'm
you wanna go first?
determined. Yeah, I'm determined to shoot him down.
I rolled a 1 and a 3. Rena, you got a 12? I have a +7. I rolled a 1 and a 3. I got an 11. You hit by 1.
Let's go.
Let's go. Of course.
12 damage.
Every damn time with this critical bullet. I swear.
Every time. It is heartbreaking
Every-
to see.
Time.
Rena, your blade your staff flashes, and your beam of light sort of lances across the battlefield, striking one of the chest plates on Lakai's armor, sending a piece of brass sort of tumbling down to the ground below, exposing black scales underneath. And for like the first time, Lakai like looks over at you, but then very quickly focuses back on Ginga. Then it's Gregorio, right?
Yeah. Gregorio is going to kind of turn his head to Ariani, shouting to stop the fighting, and kind of look between like the party that are fighting and back to Ariani, and just kind of like scratch his head like frustratedly. It's like, oh, this is why I don't meddle in these kind of things. He's going to. What he's going to do. I think he's going to look to Rena and look to Lakai and say, "Well, the quickest way to end a battle is if one side is no longer able to fight." And he's going to aim his hand up towards Lakai, extend his gun barrel, and fire a critical bullet at him.
All right.
Hopefully.
May yours
That's a
work better than my
14.
own.
That's Snake Eyes on the defense roll. That is a 9.
Damage.
14.
There we go.
Gregorio, crack! Another bolt of light launches from your arm cannon, smashing into Lakai. Now the armor ablated, all of the plates gone, and you watch as the wings start to falter a little bit, and he starts to get a little unsteady in the air, but he balances himself out with his golden blade. And he looks at Ginga. Blood of Baronot, I spit at thee. And then it's going to be their turn. As the other members of the Ordo Gallant rush into battle and engage the Lycant forces, Lakai floats up into the air just a little bit more. Only Ginga now can engage Lakai. And Lakai says, "Sacred art, dragon's cry, art of spell reflection." And his blade flashes with white light. And on a hero's turn, I'm going to give you all an action before Hestus finishes his incantation.
I'm gonna hold.
All right, Glade, you're going to wait until everybody else.
I mean, I haven't like climbed down or anything.
It's true.
Ariani is gonna try and shield the princess.
Ariani, you kind of clamber around the cage and get up in front of her,
Mhm.
wielding your rapier down. You're sort of hanging down in front of her.
And she'll
And
just.
she
Sorry, continue.
sort of whispers to you, "It's not about us. It's about the dragons, and it always has been. They live. And they're using us as their battlefield." And she sort of slumps. "They always have been."
Ariani will shout to the others. This whole thing was just a power games by the dragons.
She puts her hand on your back. "But you understand, Ariani, don't you?
Ariani freezes.
You know. You're a hero."
Who are you?
Ariani, that's going to be your turn.
The whole table just looking at Osho.
Yeah.
I roll my eyes as much as I possibly can as I move one step forward to get in range to cast field protection on Ariani.
All right. Go ahead and roll that casting check.
Yeah, I'm gonna humor her. You will take -1 damage.
Let's go.
From physical and magical.
Hell yeah.
If you're going to try and save the princess, let me show you how futile it really is.
Ariani
Rena
probably can't
Gregorio,
hear
that's
you.
Yeah, I said that very quietly to no one except maybe the warlock next to me able to hear it. And he's like, "What?"
He's chanting. You
side are
see his
you on?
eyes flick to you for just a moment, and you watch a single bead of sweat run down his forehead with the focus, and you almost broke his concentration, but he does not break his concentration.
My hand goes to his shoulder in a way that a caster supporting another caster would do, and I say, "For the people," under my breath.
And he says, well, he says something, and we'll get to it. Rena, Gregorio. And I assume Gingo wants to
Rena?
finish up
Yeah.
the turn.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
no, go for it.
Gregorio's gonna look around again and see the warlock getting ready to cast something, and just kind of exhale loudly and say, "Well, like I said before, whatever happens in the weird imaginary dimension stays in the weird imaginary dimension, right?" And he's going to put his good hand, on Rena's shoulder and cast protection on her.
Nice. Get that caster check. Nice.
So you're going to take -1 to whatever this is, whatever happens. And he's just going to kind of raise a finger on his metal hand to Rena, just kind of go shh, hoping that no one else saw. And that's his turn.
Rena?
I should probably shoot the caster, huh?
You could. He's certainly not expecting it.
Yeah, let's try it. Because it's... If you're casting protection on me, that means I've missed a memo, and I should probably pay more attention to that dude than I thought.
But he's our friend!
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm preparing for the worst.
Rena, that's going to be a hit. Go ahead and do some damage. Not a Rena crit, but 13 is pretty sizable. Okay, Ginga. We'll
I will
process
never
Rena's
crit
damage in a
again
sec.
in my life.
All right.
We'll process Rena's damage in a sec. Ginga, what are you doing?
Gingo will respond to Lakai. Spell reflection won't save you from steel, and take another hefty swing.
Sometimes everything happens exactly as you want it to. But with a 15, that's a 15. Met by a 15. Ginga, your blade crosses with Lakai and sparks fly, and the two of you go into a blade lock. You're like forcing your blades, each one trying to overpower the other. Sparks fly, and they get real close to you, and they lean in, and they say, "For king and country, betrayer."
For everyone, lapdog.
And Hestus says, "For love. Let sky crack, let blood become as water! Chaos collapse!" And he throws his hands into the air, and a bolt of 5-colored energy swirls around it and launches itself into the sky, arcing over the battlefield. Everyone is illuminated in 5-colored light. The shadows become long and harsh. Ariana, you brace yourself because you see what's about to happen. The bolt strikes Lakai. It blasts the blades between Ginga and Lakai's spell reflection fires, flinging the bolt wildly off course, sailing directly at Ariani. Ariani, you can roll your evasion if you want to. Or you can take the hit.
Ariani wants to try to block this for the princess.
And Ariani, you can roll your fortitude if you want to. I will tell you, the number you are looking for is a 25.
Better hit double 6.
Is it possible for me to hit this? I don't think so.
A double 6 always succeeds.
Well, that's not a double 6.
We live on the bell curve. We die on the bell curve.
Not -1 physical and magical damage, Ariani.
True?
The bolt smashes into Ariani, who takes 666 damage.
Okay.
665 damage. Thank you very much.
We didn't spend those MP for nothing.
True.
Obliterates Ariani, obliterates the bars of the cage, obliterates all semblance of the princess, leaving a smoldering crater. But that's not where it ends. A shockwave explodes out, throwing all of you off of your feet, slamming you into trees and rocks, sending you tumbling. Ginga, the last thing you see is Lakai looking in horror at what he has just done. And you watch as the pieces of Pidgeon begin to fall off and the wings of Lakai unform, and he takes the brunt of the shockwave with just his naked scales. And then the battle is over. Just a moment here. That's going to be 5 plus 5 plus 3. It's going to be 170 experience points to everybody, first off.
Okay, cool. Nice.
And you find yourselves once again sitting in this home.
You said 175?
170.
170, okay. Why double check?
Ariani is laying crumpled in the back corner. Ariani, you can still feel this obliterating strike. The last thoughts in your head are, oh, she's right, I should stop this. King Galorum is going to need to hear this. This will mean war if I do not stop this. And then you finish waking up from your reverie. Ginga, you are strewn across Lakai's tomb, kind of laying sort of sideways, hanging like halfway off of it. Calantha stands in the corner, just eyes wide, having seen the whole battle unfold. And the other three of you are just sort of where you were before the play started. And you watch as this sort of the shadows of mannequins briefly dance on the wall, and you see lights change as if stage lighting is changing, and you hear the sound of a curtain pulled somewhere. The lids to both of the sarcophagi are slightly ajar, and you something settling down inside of both of them.
I am horrified by this. I push the sarcophagus open to see for undead.
Glade, inside of the sarcophagus closest to you. I'm sorry, Rena, what were you saying? Are you helping?
I was saying I'm not happy either.
Are you helping Glade?
Yeah.
The two of you then shove the lid off of the sarcophagus. A big heavy stone thing, about 200 pounds, takes both of you to boom, and it lands with this decisive thud. And inside are the remains of a little brass guy, sort of scattered, but arranged sort of reverently. And the eye swivels to look at you, Glade, and you, Rena, and it blinks. And it says, good show. And then you watch the light fade from the eye.
Ugh.
It's glass
scowl.
Ariani, she's sort of laying dazed for a moment, and then kind of almost suddenly jolts up, just kind of looking about frantically, like, oh, we have to warn the.
The show is over, sweet little Silver.
They were just being manipulated by the dragons.
Ginga pulls the face mask off and dispels the helmet. Breathes in deep and exhales like they've just been through the most harrowing experience of their life.
Does Ginga get up off of the sarcophagus?
Yes.
Glade checks it too.
Rena, do you help Glade again?
Yeah.
The remains of a dragon-blooded warrior lie there, interred, carefully entombed, wrapped in a cloak, buried with a golden blade. No,
I offer a prayer. And
No movement, no sign of anything.
I seal them both back up.
I want to
sorry,
look
Ging,
at the
go ahead.
blade before that happens for
Yeah,
inscription.
same.
or anything.
Sorry, I lost you. What are you looking at?
I want to look at the blade or for inscriptions or see if I know anything about it before we seal it back up.
There is a single word written on the side of the blade in Draconic, and it reads hope. But when you hold it a certain light, the characters shift, and you see carved deep into the metal of the blade the word despair.
Ginga sheathes the blade again and places it back in with the body.
Some names came up during the battle, Ginga, and you recognize Baronot, and it was sorry, double checking my notes to making sure I'm in the right place. I lost my page. Baronot and Valami came up. These are two of the dragons who founded the world.
It's not fair. Why would the dragons use people like that?
It's... what difference are the dragons from kings? We are just as beholden to their whims and whimsy as we would any nobility. I don't know what this changes. Unless, and this is as Rena, or not, as Glade is asking Rena to help put the lids back on the sarcophagi. She's saying this as she's doing that. This doesn't change that we're here. The dragons are just extensions of kings, are they not?
I thought they were more noble. That's how they are in the stories.
That is understandable, but you're not in a story. Stories are written by winners, long gone, with no one left to dispute the history. It is good that we know, but in the immediate, I am incensed at the use of dead as puppets.
DM, a question out of
Yes.
character.
Answer out of character.
How big is Pidgewin?
Pidgewin is about the size of 2 basketballs, or maybe a
Would
beach
Pid-
ball.
Would Pidgewin fit in an adventurous pack?
Yeah, probably.
Glade
Okay.
does
Oh,
not.
don't bring it
I
here.
am in your way. If you so much as reach for this thing, Glade stands in front of you.
He locks eyes with her, and just kind of gestures to Ginga, as he kind of points one finger down on the sarcophagus and like motions to Ginga. You saw what this thing was capable of in that vision. It seems a waste to let him lie here, unable to serve his order. I might be able to restore him to life, and he would be able to resume his service. I'm sure as an automaton of the Order Galant, he would be overjoyed to be able to serve again, and it would no doubt prove a valuable combat asset. Don't you agree?
I will break that arm, and I will never give it back to you.
Do your laws... Sorry.
Does Ginga know anything about why maybe the Order no longer uses automatons like this?
Ginga, I would say you can roll a history or a knowledge roll on this.
Okay. 8.
Within 8, Ginga, there are scant few records of automata in the service of the Ordo Gallant. The last ones went out of use 70, 80 years ago. There's actually no record of Pidgeon's existence at the final battle there. With regards to why, the Ordo Gallant had a mentality of anyone from elsewhere bad. That was kind of it. Fairies, demons, devils, genies, whatever. Anyone from a different plane of existence is bad. And automata are kind of the establishing feature of this realm. They're sort of as material plane as you can get. But really, probably it was a matter of practicality, difficulty maintaining, techniques becoming old and forgotten. This is Magitech. Pidgeon is very old Magitech. Probably first Starfall Magitech, given the time frame. Because this battle would only have been a couple years after second Starfall. So Pidgeon's probably been in the material plane or on the face of Ennam for 500 years. In one form or another. But that's sort of what Gregorio does, says finding old Magitech and repurposing it, sort of the whole thing. Now, as to whether or not it's a living creature that has died, that's for a priest to decide on. I will say, for Kalade's reference, and this is not an attempt to sway you one way or another, Dolly, you get to make this call here, as to whether or not the automaton is alive, Key. But it is an entirely automated creature. Brass cogwheels and wooden blocks and a glass lens for an eye.
And yet here it lies. Gregorio, you were going to ask a question of Glade about her laws in regards to these things, were you not?
Yeah, he kind of plants his feet and just says, "Do your laws apply to simple tools? If a hammer were to snap, would you mourn that?"
If it was interred, if it was buried and left in a place of honor to rest, yes.
Gregorio kind of looks down at his arm, looks to Glade and looks to the sarcophagus, and just you kind of see his shoulders slump a little bit, and he kind of grumbles to himself. He says, "I simply thought I could restore him to its former glory. It just seemed a waste to leave it, but..."
Can we say the same of the sword? It would be a desecration to take his sword, would it not? Would it not be a desecration to take his companion and his friend away from him in death?
Gregorio kind of looks at his feet at this point, and just kind of holds up his good hand. He says, I apologize. I let my interest guide my actions without thinking about the more spiritual meaning." And he kind of gestures to the second sarcophagus. You're right. You're right. It has been interred properly with, I assume, the correct rites and rituals that you yourself would probably perform if you were the maiden at hand.
Glade interrupts Gregorio and pulls him into a hug. I am sorry for saying I would cut your arm off.
That's okay. It reattaches very easily. It would not be that much of an inconvenience. But he puts his robot arm around her.
I will do everything in my power. And she starts to fumble in her pack for money, but then she thinks, after this, we will acquire for you an automaton of this type, whatever it takes. But I beg that we let this one rest.
Gregorio
If it makes
nods.
it any easier, this is the domain of the Order Gallant, and I'm the only representative here. I will not rob this tomb. Let these heroes rest.
A sigh of relief.
Understood. You must understand. Usually, when I find Magitech like this, it has been lost for countless years and not, as you say, properly interred. I apologize. I acted out of turn.
Glade is pushing Gregorio over to Ginga, assumably so that they will also hug.
Gregorio is like rigid, like he's still being moved, but he's just like, oh, kind of upright. It's like, maybe once we escape the gloom dungeon, yes.
That is a good
Ginga
idea. We do not know how
kinda-
contagious it is.
Ginga kind of picks up on what Glade is doing and doesn't hug Gregorio, but does make a fist and tap it on Gregorio's shoulder like it's okay, and nods.
Good enough.
You reseal both tombs. Glade, you found that there was some residue around the lip of these two sarcophagi from some sacred salts and some oils. They were buried in the Soulmite tradition, so you do the same. It doesn't take super long to redo the seals and reinter them correctly.
I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing.
And on doing so, it feels as if this space breathes a sigh of relief. As if the Curse of Gloom had weakened this anyway, and it would have needed to be redone, and you have done a service. In interring these two, everybody gains 200 more experience.
Ooh.
Oh.
I can't count this high. Ugh.
Glade's autism getting the party experience. Let's go.
Autism experience.
Gregorio's autism nearly causing a fight. Let's go.
You know, that is the two things that it does for me in real life. So, you know, it kind of matches up.
The tinkling of a chime soft on the wind. On the show will go. But how many players in the show?
Ariani,
Pluck the wings off of this fairy, I say as I begin to move again. Oh,
Yeah, we should
out
go.
of character question, was my
Yeah.
mana spent?
Oh, it stays spent, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
your
understood.
injuries and your mana spent stay.
Well, okay, now I have one important question because someone took 665 damage.
Yeah, Ariani seems to be doing all right.
okay, that's good. Let's continue then. Ariani seems a bit quiet. She'll continue
Wait,
forward.
so mana spent but not HP?
The only injury that did not persist is Ariani's fatal blow.
Okay, everything else is the same.
Understood.
Heard.
Calantha looks to the group of you. Be thou well?
Well enough.
As we will be after that.
Thy battle was fierce. Thy hearts strong and brave, but thy bodies were injured. Would that I had the power to heal thee. I am sorry. She sort of looks down at her big clanky gauntlet, a little frustrated.
Oh, my dear Knight Calantha. You have had power taken out of your hands. You need not feel guilt over that which is not in your control.
Yes, well. She sort of just trails off.
The gloom is quite heavy. And I step back to go to Calantha, and I kneel down in the least patronizing way I can. Which Glade realizes about halfway down maybe is to not kneel down at all, so she slowly stands back up straight.
Calantha just sort of watches you impassively as you decide on a stance.
Are one of the bravest warriors I have ever met, to the point of foolhardy heroics. You are a hero to a fault. None of us believe any of this is any inadequacy of yours. We will get you out of here, and you will show us what that sword of yours can do, yes?
She looks troubled. Nay, kind Glade. Seest thou not the truth? In this battle that played out before us of shadows and memories, didst thou not see? Foolhardy bravery were the downfall of the Ordo Gallant. The pledge to serve ancient loyalty caused the downfall of a kingdom. Mine own oaths to the burnished rose ring hollow. Didst thou not feel it, Ginga? The blood of the dragon flowing in thy veins, wreaking havoc across the battlefield for ancient loyalty, for none even present.
You know, I have lived a life among the dead. I have heard people spoken about after their passing. I have heard emptiness as people pass alone. But so few of them ever spoke of dragons or kings or loyalty. This here, if you look at this, you will see a world in a painting, but you will never see outside of it. You will never understand that there is more to this place that you're in. It isn't oaths and dragons and kings that make up Altander. It's you and me and them, as she points to the sarcophagi. And it's everyone who follows us. Please, do not despair.
She thinks on this, but doesn't say anything.
Now then, I wish to go pluck this fairy apart, as Glade strides forward again into the darkness.
Glade, how
We'll
close
talk
do you
about
get
dragon
to the
magic later.
Oh, sorry, Ryu. I didn't mean to talk over you.
We'll talk about the dragon magic later. To Calantha.
She nods, troubled. Glade, how close? Because if Gregorio doesn't immediately follow you, how close do you get to the fog?
Glade is undaunted, and if she is not followed immediately, she will just wander into it.
Glade, you definitely get close enough to feel it. I will leave it to Gregorio whether or not he follows you,
He's
but you get close enough
panikedly
to
following.
feel sort of loss, betrayal, grief, anguish, sadness, cold, bitter revenge. All of the pain of a broken heart.
I feel young again. But not in the good way. But I just continue.
And the group makes their way to the next chamber. We're going to take our mid-session break shortly, but I'll set the tone on the next chamber for you. Here we have inscribed on the wall the history from Second Starfall and the Renaissance of Altander. There is an enormous stone plaque with an image of His Majesty Galorum Grey III. This is the man who commissioned this crypt. That's why there are no older family members interred here. Galorum Grey III was the king before Irius, long, long time ago. He was the king through Second Starfall. He is regarded as something of a unifier, Galorum Grey, and is often depicted with ivy and verdant foliage behind him. You also note there is a little timeline here. You have 498, Second Starfall. 503, birth of Prince Irius Grey, son of Galorum Grey III. 506, birth of Princess Tenora Grey, daughter of Galorum Grey III. 520, death of Tenora. Death of Her Beloved Highness Princess Tenora Grey. And you see there is a series of sarcophagi in this room as well. There are 2 sarcophagi and 1 memorial plaque. On the sarcophagi you see here is remembered His Majesty Galorum Grey III, whose wisdom was loved by all. And as you read it, a shade appears above the sarcophagus. Just a phantom image of a sort of heavily bearded old man in a robe. and another sarcophagus on the other side of this sort of central plinth in the room. Here is interred His Majesty Arius Grey, gone too soon, son of Galorum Grey, bringer of wonders. And you see another shade appear over top of the other. It looks every bit the spitting image of his father. This is the king who died this year. This tomb is fresh, freshly interred. Blade, you've been to this one. But in the center, there is a plaque. And it says, "Here is remembered our beloved princess, Tenora Grey. May her spark find its home among the stars." And there is no body interred. You arrive in a chamber with 2 sarcophagi, a faceless memorial to the lost princess Tenora, Arius' sister, and the soft tinkle of a chime just at the edge of hearing. 2 phantom images of bearded men appear, hovering above their sarcophagi, respectively, where they are buried. No image of the Princess Tenora appears.
I will ask my question as blatantly as I can. Are these ghosts?
Are you asking me or are you asking in character?
This is Glade being like, am I looking at the malicious spirit of an undead right now?
The eyes of the one closest to you, King Galorum III, sort of pass over you with a look of sadness in them. And you can see where there once was a spark or a fire, you can just see this sort of grave sense of sorrow. And that little tinkling chime comes a little closer. And Kalon, the chime, appears. The fairy who has been guiding you through this. "No ghosts. You said they were off limits, and I'm obedient."
Why are you doing this?
"Why are you watching it?"
Because you locked the exit.
"Would you refuse a lesson freely given?"
No.
"Good.
And thank you for doing it this way instead. I will listen.
Are you trying to teach us about the past?
Well, I don't pull all of the strings, but I do have the backstage pass." And Kalon vanishes and she reappears on the other side. "Sometimes the curtain is easy to pull. And you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and the chosen all make it easier to pull. And so you wanted to know about kings and blood and air. Air, remember? When you were at the door all those days ago?"
Mm-hmm.
Air.
Days?
Air. Yes, Dace. She helped
I
me
like
in here
her.
before.
She plays along. So you can talk to them, but only one. Only one for each of them. So talk good. This way's
As in only
less fun, but
and only one of us can talk to each of them?
no. But yes, I think it works out that way too. I'll go get the next room ready.
Okay.
And they chime away.
What they mean is, we can only ask them one question. I think.
Should we ask them where the princess is?
I saw what happened to your body, so I can only imagine that she was unrecoverable.
Or wouldn't they at least made a,
DM, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a placard for the princess in this room, yes?
Yes, there is.
Oh, sorry,
and
I must have
it
missed
reads
that.
specifically, because there's no sarcophagus for her. The official records, which Ariana, you know, say that her body was burned and defiled beyond recognition when it was found.
Mhm.
And so the placard specifically reads, "Here is remembered our beloved princess, Tenora Gray. May her spark find its home among the stars."
I think Ariana's going to just kind of go up to that and just kind of look at it for a bit.
The gloom sort of creeps in. Gregorio has to sort of reposition to sort of keep you out of the gloom.
Yep.
Yeah, Ariani, there's no memorial here other than the plaque. She doesn't have a shrine. She doesn't have a fake sarcophagus. She doesn't have a statue.
It feels like things shouldn't have turned out the way they did. Well, what should we ask?
Well, let's see what happens if I do this. And I get very close to this one.
The old king. This is Irias's father, Galorum Grey III. This is the first king of modern Altander in the Renaissance. He sort of like peers down at you from atop the sarcophagus with sadness in his eyes.
I wave, but I don't say anything.
You see a smirk sort of come to his face, recognizing your sort of playful gesture, and his hand kind of comes up about hip height and gives you a little two-finger wave.
Glade genuinely giggles at that. There's a little bit of jubilance in this now because it's not a defiled corpse.
You see his smile widens.
Glade is gonna kind of feedback loop off of this and just get really excited.
His eyebrows go up, and you see a mingled joy and sadness as he watches you.
Glade looks to Ginga, who's right behind her, and grabs their shoulder, and is like, "This is wonderful, isn't it?"
It's definitely something.
I wonder how it works. I guess I could ask that. I suppose... Ariani.
You turn briefly, and you see the King Galorum Grey III is shaking his head when you say, "I guess I could ask that." He's like, has some agency here, and he's shaking his head no.
I chuckle and nod appreciatively.
Ariani will approach Glade.
You spoke with the princess, and you seem to have imprinted upon her in some way.
The king's eyes linger on Ariani.
And it seems to like you.
So I should ask the question?
Do you want to know about your beloved princess?
Know what? I don't...
Glade shrugs. I wonder what he wants to tell me. If he doesn't like one question, maybe there's a question he likes. And she looks to him for a reaction to that.
You see he ponders for a second. He strokes his beard and his eyebrows furrow. And he nods towards Ariani, sort of like a half smile and a look of almost wonder in his eyes.
I don't know what to ask.
The king crouches down, leaning down towards you, Ariani, because again, he's on top of like a 6-foot-high sarcophagus. And he sort of like crouches down and pulls his legs in, sort of crisscross applesauce. His royal robe's getting a little frumpled a bit. And he sort of runs his hands through his hair, which you imagine must have been like a brilliant red color at some point, but now it's kind of hazy and foggy looking, because he's just, again, like a mostly translucent image of this man. The color is pretty drained from him. And as he does so, you see on his robes You see a golden pin representing a fairy. And you can see that this golden pin represents a fairy, and it is worn next to a golden pin representing a shield. He has pins for multiple different things, one of which is a fairy. Just sort of worn openly on his robes, not hidden anywhere.
Remind me out of character.
Mhm.
The event that we learned about where the fairy queen had her blood stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Would that have been during this king's reign, or was that the one after?
It would have probably... I'm trying to figure out if you know that, really. Because I don't think they told you exactly when. However, madness
we know
of
when
Mythonwy...
we know when the invasion was, right?
Yeah, the invasion happened in the Curse of Gloom about 2 years later. That happened during Arius's reign.
Right.
This is Arius's dad. So this would be before the Curse of Gloom started.
In that case, Ariani, she's gonna look at the she looks at the fairy pin and kind of looks at herself, and she'll ask, what was it like with living in harmony with the fairies?
You're asking King Galorum this? Starting at his heart, a spark appears, a flame, and it licks out across his form, and as it does so, you see his body becoming distinct and solid, and the flame sort of burns away the ghostly countenance, and you can see there sitting now in front of you in the green and color of the Kingdom of Altander is King Galorum, and he's there. You can smell him. He smells like royal oils. He's got a little bit of alcohol in his breath. His beard is a little unkempt. He runs his hands through his hair again, and he looks at you. He says, Ariani, I can't believe you don't remember. But I suppose it has been a long time. Parties, revels. There's those who believe in the revel, of course, but I had a different vision for Altander, and the revel was not popular by my age. Most people didn't remember it was a thing. What was it like? Well, my son did most of the work, making the wonders and all. I did my best to keep the peace, establish clear borders, fair trade with packs. Oh, those fairies. Unconscionable, truly, some of the things the fairies get up to, but it's life. You know, vibrancy, unpredictability. Sort of thing everyone needs. Fall into stagnation when you rely too much on old tradition and dodgy rules.
Hey, how do you know Ariani?
He sort of looks over at you and winks and looks back at Ariani.
Awesome.
But what was it like living with the fairy? Joyful, bright, hopeful, kind. Many of us found love. Even though things don't always go as planned, you find a way forward. Now, if you'll excuse me. And with that, he fully, elevator descends down into the sarcophagus, just fading through and becoming ghostly and indistinct again.
Hey,
and then
how does he
vanishes
know
entirely.
you?
I've only read about him.
Glade's face is completely unchanging.
I'm being very honest with you right now.
See if the next one knows you too.
Okay.
As Glade goes and steps over to the other one and gives a nice soft little hi, and then a wave as she comes over.
You see here the man that you saw in the portrait at the very, very top of game. This guy. Looking sad and solemn as ever.
Does he react to us approaching?
He does this similarly to his father, but more solemn, more sad. He doesn't give you the little two-finger goofy wave.
I think I already know what question to ask, if I may.
You see on him a number of scars. Up his arms, side of his face. This is a man who was in war. But you also note that strapped to his back is a lute. He carries a guitar with him. Even though he looks sad, he's got a music instrument.
Now,
Oh, that's just part of the course, though.
correct me if I'm wrong, but the easy implication from what I have gathered from what the fairy told us before is that King Irius is the one who stole the blood.
That's a fair assumption to make. Now, you're making a connection via the fact that the Curse of Gloom targeted Altander, or is there something else you're putting together?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a fair thread to tie. I think that he had something to
fairy
do
thread
with
to
it, even
tie,
if it
yes.
wasn't. And I mean, also wasn't Fletcher was a bard, correct? Or is that a misremembrance?
Fletcher was a bard.
And
Fletcher
I
was a
do
traveling
see
minstrel.
a lute, and I feel if anyone were to have stolen the blood, I guess I think this is sort of Glade musing out loud.
Mhm.
If Fletcher is another one we believe to have stolen the blood, it's interesting that there's a lute there.
When you say Fletcher, he sort of blinks and looks at you, sort of like almost in recognition.
I give a smile in return. I think it's possible that our bard and our king are one and the same. Fletcher is such an odd name. Someone going off to have relations with the fairy queen, who is immortal.
Great
I
sadness appears on his face. And then a stern, ironclad, like, willpower set.
Does the tomb, does it have like his full name?
It does. It does. This is King Irius Grey. Specifically, there's a full inscription, and it reads in my notes, right here, in my notes.
I just wanted to know if it said Fletcher.
It does not say Fletcher. No, there's no reference to it.
Okay.
Here is interred His Majesty Irius Grey, son of Galorum Grey III, bringer of wonders.
And I do wonder how someone would get a hold of such wonders. Not the easiest thing to acquire. It's interesting, though, if they were given in promises made to Fae. Well, those have a way of turning sour, don't they?
Unreadable expression.
I think maybe the easiest question to ask, and Glade sort of looks around looking for anyone dissenting to this.
Asking
to
about
ask.
the wonders?
I was more interested in asking if he was Fletcher, but we could ask about the wonders. What would you ask of them?
How they came to be?
How did the wonders come to be, truly? She says, looking at him.
You watch ice form around his heart, and it begins to creep out, and soon the frost, its arms, spiderwebbing across his body, encase him fully in ice, which then begins to thaw. And a look of almost relief as he slumps into the physical world. And he looks up at you. How did the wonders come to be? Magic, of course. Things I picked up in my travels. Here and there. Borrowed magic, but freely lent. Until they weren't. My kingdom had a need. I asked and it was granted. In my travels I saw many things. Sicknesses, wars, plagues, betrayals. Blood of the dragon. a memory maintained by those with the power to maintain it. I thought that things could be different. And then his face grows cold. Things weren't different. Things couldn't be the way I wanted them. And he looks over towards his father's tomb. I had duty, responsibilities. You know, Kefri, he wouldn't. And he is dragged down into his sarcophagus for answer. And he fades as well in a puff of ghost fire.
Kefri. There's that name again.
Well, it comes back to him, doesn't it?
Mmm.
Sure seems that way.
Kefri has clearly some involvement. You haven't grasped yet.
I investigate both of these sarcophagus to make sure that they are properly interred. I know I had recently done it to Irius, but I want to make sure the fairy wasn't interfering more.
Glade, go ahead and make an observation roll.
Sure. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. 16.
With a 16, Glade, both tombs are suitably bound. You note some signs of interference on Galorum's, King Galorum III. There are some signs of scratches kind of around the corners where someone was trying to get in, someone maybe with a tiny little knife, but it doesn't look like they found any purchase. It looks like the wards were enough to keep the Fae out.
Good. Well, I wonder if the fairy has had enough time to prepare the next little show for us.
Before we
You get
leave,
no response.
Is this inscription up here anything? I see there's a
Which
little
inscription?
there's a little tablet in the corner.
Oh, yeah. Mostly it's not a specific thing.
If it's nothing, then you don't have to
Yeah.
think of something. I was mostly just thinking, like, is Hesper trying to sneak something in here? Was my
So what I
thoughts.
will say, and no, normally I do, and you're very, very clever to point that out. There is, in fact, a map in this game that I do have a secret hidden in, and I was hoping someone was going to point out. But what you do find, Glade, is not Glade, Ariani, is tracing your hand along the wall. Here begins a series of sort of woven historical records that extend up the stairs to the north of you and along that hallway. And as you follow, you see these beautifully woven tapestries, each with a year at the bottom and a list, a brief summary of events. The one that you were looking at right here, 532 TA, the Bright War. And you see herein is recorded a history of the Bright War. Kefri, Lord Chamberlain, leads the people in unifying the kingdom in the absence of Prince Irius, after the death of his father Galorum Grey III by natural causes. And did the group of you proceed down the hallway?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Amicably
proceed down
so,
the
trying to
hallway.
keep everybody within range of my anti-gloom, but yes.
The gloom pushes so hard, and you follow the records. 533 TA, Kefri, Lord Chamberlain, maintains the kingdom. 534 TA, Kefri, Lord Chamberlain, maintains the kingdom. 535 TA, 536, 537, 538, 39, 40, 41, 42. And you come to the end of the hallway. King Irius returns, claiming the throne. The Bright War ends. And you find yourselves at another junction. To your east, the tinkling of a chime, and another small, sort of stately tomb. To your south, Glade, the overgrown, bramble-choked, vaguely memorial site where Queen Fia is interred. The gloom is the thickest there.
The last time I was here, It was covered in brambles.
I would say it still is.
Despite my efforts in cleaning it.
It's where all this smoke is coming from. We should have a look, shouldn't we?
If we're going that way, we need to group up. We don't know the effective range of this water. We need to be as close to each other as possible to prevent.
The chime comes from the east and gets a little louder, and Kalon appears. If you wish to travel to Queen Fia, then go with my blessing. I need only the chosen for this show. And you see her eyes go to Calantha, who sort of looks at all of you like a little clueless.
Is your little tour gonna take us in there at all?
Kalon shakes her head. No, unless you wish it.
She's just as much a part of the story, isn't she?
More than you know, but less than I
I'd
can
like
say.
to.
Well, then come, chosen, and bring your entourage. Calantha steps to the front of the line and says, with thy leave, I should see these answers. Be they fey trickery or otherwise.
The gloom will have its way with you, Calantha.
I fear not gloom nor heartbreak. My resolve is iron. Even as the walls crumble, my will remains resolute.
I want to see the rest of what Callan has to show us.
Very well. We can always return.
We can't very well let our knight run off doing whatever she wants to, after all. She is in our service.
She
And
pauses.
Magic has broken stronger wills.
She pauses and does not walk forward without your...
Ariana's walking forward with her.
So it's Glade.
So it's good.
Grigoria gives her, like
Calantha-
a gentle bump from behind.
Calantha steps forward, and Kalon shows you one more ghostly image. This one of a bearded man, strong and fierce, dressed in bear fur, wielding a large axe. He is also wearing the colors of Altander. However, he has on his head like a circlet, and it's decorated with sort of flowing leaves. It's clearly like fey in origin. It does not match like the style of Altander. And you see inscribed as Kalon sort of fades up into the ceiling, here lies Wolfram Fern, the chosen. And then inscribed beneath that, unity dies when the last song ends. And there is a brief scene here. And Calantha is striding into battle alongside Wolfram Fern here. Marching against the walls of Pax, you see a high wall of white marble grown with roses and beautiful multicolored flowers. You see hanging gardens on a tiered castle, a palace with beautiful spires, pennants flapping in the wind, white against the blue sky, and this sort of rainbow cavalcade of gorgeous foliage growing in unison with this palace. This is the fortress at Pax. This is the heart of the revel. You're looking at the one-day war, the invasion of Pax. And no blade is swung. Hundreds of soldiers march on the walls of Pax, and Wolfram Fern steps to the front of the line and turns and says something to his people, and you can't quite hear what it is. But you hear trumpets blast out behind him. And he walks into the gates of Pax, and they remain open. And you watch as the soldiers sort of look around kind of awkwardly and funnel in through the front gate of the castle at Pax. And then you see a scene where Wolfram Fern the only casualty of the one-day war, lies dead in a battlefield, a blade in his gut. And Calantha's hand is wrapped around the hilt of it. And she sort of comes to you out of the show, sort of looking at the group of you, like tears welling in her eyes. Only one casualty. He gave his life. This chosen. Chosen by... And she sort of straightens up. Chosen of Mifanwi. Why would Mifanwi choose someone of Altander?
Why did the one chosen die?
So everyone else could live, I think. Unity dies when the last song ends. What means this? Hast thou any clue?
I haven't heard it before. I assume.
Yeah, there's no reference. There are old songs from the time when Ender was at peace with the Fae. There was, more than 50 or so years ago. There were songs, there were stories. That's common knowledge.
Why are you showing this to Calantha and us? Why
Colin
are we
appears
seeing
again.
this?
Because you need to know. You're doctors. You have to know where to cut.
I suppose that is a way of looking at it, but this little bit of information, how is this helping us cut?
You could ask him. He could tell you. I went to all the trouble of waking him up so you could ask him a question. And here I was going to do a whole puppet thing, but you just want the images. You want the ghosts. Fine.
I shrug.
Well, the last puppet thing nearly killed me, so...
Well, then don't get killed by puppet things, puppet thing.
That's an in-character laugh. Glade laughs out loud at that.
Ariane blushes and looks away.
Calantha,
She looks at you. Yes?
this was all on your account. This was all so you could see this. What do you want to ask him?
She sort of furrows her brow. Her tail sort of swishes a bit. She's thoughtful. And she says, Wolfram Fern, what didst thou promise to end the one-day war and claim your life as the only casualty? And Wolfram, in a crackling arc of lightning, appears. Smoke and ozone fill the air. He looks down, and he sort of leans down. He ruffles Calantha's hair a little bit, which she bristles at. Lass, I promised only that which had already been promised. The blood, lass. The last unfulfilled promise from the line of Altander. Blood was spilled, and through blood would be repaid. Hey? And he sort of looks at the rest of you. My, you've got quite an entourage. Usually the chosen works alone. And Calantha's like, well, what is chosen? What does that mean? And he says, well, it's... And then bolt of lightning, and he's gone. And Kalon just sort of stretches and yawns in the air. Kalon says, you've seen the show now. Shall we proceed?
Sure.
Right.
For no reason whatsoever, Rena picks up a rock.
Okay. You pick up a rock. Listen,
Yeah.
you can't freeze all of my Fae to death. Sometimes you gotta hit him
Nope.
with a rock.
Sometimes I got hit him with a rock.
And now we enter Glade, what feels more familiar to you. The final chamber here. It is cracked, it is broken, it is overgrown with brambles and ivy and thorn. And you remember the plaque on the sarcophagus. It reads only, Fia Olin, Queen. Buried away from the royal family, no noble crest adorns it. The top of the sarcophagus lies split, its lid being pulled apart by thorny brambles.
I am distressed at the sight of this, but I wait to see what Kalon has to say.
Kalon flitters around and watches. You hear under her breath, she mutters, "What a dump."
I start cleaning it.
Glade, as you pull at the ivy, it cuts into your hands. Thorns appear on the plants. Please take a point of damage.
I take a point of damage, and I take out my knife and I start to cut again.
Everybody watches as the ivy and brambles begin to slither towards Glade like snakes very slowly.
To see if there's anything druidic I can do for this.
Yeah, Rena,
As a
you
druid,
are
maybe
a
there's
druid.
something.
You could make a knowledge or an observation roll.
I would like to do that, but I'm also looking for the link to the nature spells before I get lost.
Fair. You're a level 2 druid, is it?
I believe. Ooh, I think it might only be level 1, actually.
I think you're level
Okay.
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
You started with level 2.
There aren't like
I
a
don't-
ton of spells you could
you-
cast here.
Yeah, Druid is very limited for what I usually do, so I'm not as super familiar with it.
But I will say an observation, excuse me, observation or knowledge roll, or
Yeah.
Rena, you feel the presence of the madness you felt at the fountain. It is fierce here, but if you want to reach out and touch it, you're familiar enough with it, you could make a power check to try to connect to the magic of this room. And do it like in control this time.
Yeah. How do I do a power check? As
it
knowledge
is-
seems to have utterly failed me.
Just on the back of your sheet in one of the circles, it's a caster level power check for your
Yeah, it would be
druid
your
power.
druid. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah.
An 11. Rena strides with purpose and confidence to the center of the room. And at the center, there is one split, one seam that appears to have, like, kind of grown the largest. And she reaches down, and rather than pulling at the vines, she sort of just plants her hands on the ground, and you watch this sort of sparkling light sort of descend from her elbows down to her fingertips. And you watch as the roots sort of grow up around her hands, not cutting, but almost greeting, like a hand reaching up, sort of clasping hand in hand. And Rena, you feel every emotion crystal clear. Rena, you feel hatred, anger, fury, betrayal, resentment, jealousy, envy. The blood was stolen. You feel that a child was stolen. There is a child that belongs to Mafanwi, and it was taken. And you look, and there's a second feeling on top of that. And these roots want to rip apart the body in that sarcophagus. They want more than anything to tear to pieces the woman in that sarcophagus. And you feel some sensations come unbidden to your lips. Betrayer, deceiver, dragon.
Ooh. How best to relay that information?
The vines sort of crawl off of your hands and retreat back into the crags.
Ariane kind of steps forward
Yeah, Rena's gonna ask Ariani what she was saying about dragons first, I think. We're gonna start there.
The princess, she told me that battle where the princess died. It could have been avoided. It was a mistake. It was manipulated by the dragons to happen. Whether it was them fighting amongst themselves and using these people to do so, or something they were doing.
That kind of lines up with what
Together.
I'm learning here.
Rena,
The
bolt from the blue strikes you in the mind, Rena. There is... It was Glade who pointed out the connection, I believe, between Arius and Mephanwe. Fletcher and Mephanwe. But you know that there were tokens exchanged. There was some kind of memory shared. You see a flash of silver in your mind. It's lost, and that's part of the rage.
the one we just spoke to, the previous chosen, said the blood had been taken.
I think she took it.
The heir of Queen Mephanwe, the fairies, was...
I'm under the impression the queen was the one who took the blood.
This queen?
It sounds like a child was stolen, or it feels like. And more than that, it almost sounds like she's being accused of being a dragon.
Or
Or
working
at
with
least
them.
of their bloodline.
Yeah. Connected to in some way. I don't really know what to make of it.
Something that, if she's connected to them, then it sounds like the dragons have been manipulating.
They truly have been meddling.
A lot of things going on that have
Why
resulted
can't we
in
speak
this.
with this one?
You say that to Callan?
Mm-hmm.
Callan looks. It's not there.
Is it not dead?
Not like you would be if I crushed you or smooshed you with rocks or fried you in lava.
Gripping the rock a little bit tighter.
No, do it. I want to splatter.
So the queen is still alive?
Well, no. You asking me? You've got eyes. I'm showing. I'm not telling. I'm showing. Show, don't tell. It's rule 1 of storytelling. Please.
Right.
Pay attention.
Queen...
There's a story to follow, of course.
Thank you, Glade.
Ariani kind of huffs a bit. Look, fine. So Queen Mephanwe wants... The vines are... They clearly want revenge or something on this queen. I forgot the name of the character.
This is Fia. Fia Olin.
Thank you. On Queen Fia, for stealing.
This was the woman, for clarity,
Yeah.
assassinated 4 years ago by a survivor of Hestisnar's Warlock Circle.
So she somehow she was the one responsible for Queen Mephanwe's blood being stolen, her heir being stolen, her child or descendant.
Callan taps her chin. Heir or hair?
Air.
Are
I
you sure?
misspoke. Wait, well, is that not the
It's one of those
implication with
two.
blood? What? Her blood was stolen, like her relative, like her.
Oh, sure.
Well-
Sure, that one too.
Be
Bloodline,
careful.
perhaps?
We take everything this fairy says so literally, we may be reading into it in the wrong way. We shouldn't narrow our point of view yet, but it is clear that whatever it was taken, be it an heir or a hair or some sort of ancient artifact tied to a promise, right now we know that she, pointing at the sarcophagus, is the one believed to have done it.
Ariane kind of crosses her arms and she's like, well, hair doesn't have blood in it, so it can't be that.
Well, if a child was stolen, it falls under all of that. Bloodline, heir, hair. Take your pick.
And at times, oaths can be more worthy of our care and consideration and of being our own blood than our actual blood. It could be a broken promise from a close one. Maybe there's more to it than we're seeing.
There was something in there about silver as well, but I can't figure that part out.
And what lovely fairy-like irony it would be if an artifact was a mirror that a fairy used to do their hair in. But this isn't our final destination, is it? Glade says, wandering over to Calon again.
Callan shrugs. I think that's up to you.
Well, I want to finish cleaning this room.
Well, it's probably not going to work. We're right underneath the fountain right now. Unless you want to try to lift the whole Curse of Gloom with a dagger, and it'll probably crush you because it's really heavy, which I don't mind, but you seem like you don't want that. Probably you have to cure it first, then you can clean it.
I'm at least getting the ones off the sarcophagus.
Oh, yeah, you should go to the sarcophagus.
I do, and I clamber all over that thing as I start to try and cut these off,
Glade.
taking whatever damage I take. Yeah, okay.
There is a radiant aura of malice emanating. If there is an anchor point to the shallow abyss, it is this sarcophagus. As you approach, you feel yourself almost pushed back. Your hair kind of blows back. Your hood kind of comes down. Like it is like a heartbeat of hatred.
Grigorio's going to run up and put like a hand on both of Blade's shoulders and just say, I think we need to all do this together, yes?
Hang on. Hang on.
Do what?
And I plant my hand on the sarcophagus without waiting.
Glade, let's make that caster power check, please, for your priest class. As you battle with the anchor of this domain.
11.
With an 11, Glade, you have a choice in this moment, Glade. You can recoil and pull away and not be drawn into the collateral damage from the incredible hatred, and you will still earn one piece of knowledge. Or you can succumb and go in, and the consequences will be yours to bear.
What she's gonna say.
This is what I am here for. And while I would make a different decision than Glade is about to make, what she would do is go further in.
As you all watch, Glade tumbles forward. The sarcophagus lid falls in, revealing a black void. And the ground begins to crack, radiating outward from the sarcophagus. As it falls, it plunges into a starry abyss. The floor begins to fall away. Does anybody run away? or do you follow Glade down?
I mean, I had my hands on her shoulders nearly, so
It's true.
I don't think I get away.
Ariana's gonna jump in after Glade.
Of course, because we have to have our chasm and our lesbians need to fall in it. Just
This one just happens to be in a woman's sarcophagus, which I will admit is new for us, but I'm glad that we're pushing ourselves.
It's funny that you're calling it an abyss because we know that it's a chasm.
Deep down.
It is that.
Get it? Deep down because it's a chasm?
Yeah, yeah, Ariana kind of... Glade! Ariana's jumping after her.
I'm checking to see if there's anything I can do to make this a bit less horrible for any of us. Not unless jump boots make you safe from falling instead of jumping.
They actually do prevent you from taking fall damage. That is very, very noteworthy.
Well.
Yeah.
Well then, I will definitely be using that and following suit.
Yeah, that's for 3 whole minutes.
Yeah.
In theory, that should be long enough.
Increases
As the
ability to
ground falls away, you tumble into an abyss. And this place feels familiar to Rena and Ariani. There is no colossal form here. There is no skittering, crawling, bladed wood creatures of madness. You tumble through a starry expanse, and then you come to a light on a narrow thread of light. A beam extending as far back as you can see and as far forward as you can imagine. And you see 2 figures appear. You see first a woman, or a feminine form, crooked with age, decayed, far, far more rapidly than someone dead 4 years should be. You see striding forward out of the darkness the form of Queen Fia Elwyn, the wife of King Irius, and the mother of Prince Keta Grey, now wielding a sorceress staff, hand alight with blue flame. And the second thing you see is much, much larger. Oh, roll 20 is malfunctioning at a very...
No,
Please
roll
apologize.
20.
I apologize. One moment. I have to copy a thing. It's real trying, huh? It's not loading my assets. It's just not loading my assets.
No.
Here we go. I'll just make it new.
Well, in the meantime, this is very hopeful music for something that's probably going to be terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have hope.
A shade, an image of a
Oh.
massive
Oh.
blue-scaled dragon appears behind her. One hand held over her like a puppet master almost. And we're gonna roll initiative.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet we are. Oh boy.
So repositioning myself.
Ooh. I need to grab more water real quick. I will be listening, but
Yeah,
I'll
go
be
for it.
right back.
All right, let's get the numbers. Okay, I'm looking at a 12 on Ginga.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing a 16. So they're gonna get to go first.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
All right, so Fia stands. Wordlessly, her staff goes out and her arm goes up, wreathed in blue flame. And she brings down a column of blue flame from the heavens above. And it wreathes her staff and her robe in this sort of incandescent fire. And that's going to be her action for the turn. The dragon flies up. Just a little bit. Wings beating. You can see stars through it. It's a translucent image of a dragon, but it is a dragon. Long tail, huge leathery wings, massive horns, rippling with muscle and scale and sinew and hair. This is you have the sensation that this is a very, very old creature. And now it's the party's turn.
I have a quick first question.
Yeah.
Is monster knowledge relevant here at all?
Oh, yeah, good call. Monster knowledge check. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Please, monster knowledge check.
Okay. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. My monster knowledge is actually a different thing. I forgot it has its own dice.
It does.
If you would prefer to take the lower roll, I fully understand.
Let's go with... No, it's a different thing. It's a 14. So you get two things then. You are going to get a little bit of info here. Just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to find, as I pull up the notes, the queen here it has taken the form of an abyss corpse. This is a particular form of undead that is animated within an abyss. Generally speaking, this is what happens when smaller, less powerful beings sort of congeal into one when left in an abyss for too long. This is usually around the core of something usually used to possess magical ability. This may not be Queen Fia. This may be something else. And that thing behind her is a dragon. That's a dragon. It doesn't have major weaknesses. It's a dragon. It breathes fire. It kills you. It's a dragon.
Heard.
I think it's a dragon.
Probably a pretty good guess. If you had to classify it, you would put it as a lesser dragon, but there's something about it that you think it is much larger than that, and you're only seeing like a shade of it.
But Fia there is undead.
100%, 1000%, million%, yes.
Glade lowers her hood as for combat prep, I would have just deployed my geograph and took out a knife. Is it the party's turn?
It is. And I will say with a 14 on monster knowledge, you get one more thing.
Oh,
Where
okay.
the flesh is pulled taut over Fia's bones, you can see they look a little misshapen. And there are these little bits of exposed muscle or bone that shimmer with blue. You're looking at somebody with dragon blood. This is the way that dragon blood manifests in the noble families varies from person to person. But you can usually tell in some physical capacity because they are genetically part dragon. And so you're looking at bones of somebody who actually carries the blood of a dragon, which is not supposed to be a thing. Fia was supposed to be common born.
Noted. I do out loud yell, she's got dragon blood in her. You can see it.
I'm sure that won't make things difficult.
That would explain why she's working for them.
Can I take my turn first?
Yeah, totally. Well,
Of
no,
course.
you're asking them. Sorry.
Yeah.
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 Glade steps forward, her dagger held out to the queen. The wind from nowhere begins to billow around her as a cold chill can be felt by everyone. And I'm going to cast a spell called the Count of Death as I point my dagger at the queen and say the word die as loud as I can. It echoes throughout the room. And so what I do is I have to make my spellcasting check. And this is going to determine whether or not this is funny or awesome. A 13. That's
Okay.
a semi-decent number. But at the beginning of the target's turn, it must make a willpower save against the written success value, 13. If it fails, increase the number of failures starting from 0. When the number of failures reaches 6, the target's current HP value becomes 0 at the end of its turn.
Oh, that's the
On-
sickest spell ever.
What?
On any successful save, the spell ends.
So she has to fail 6 saves in a row against
times in a row.
Okay,
Yes.
but that's the coolest thing.
Could you
If
imagine?
it
Doesn't
works,
have a
it's the
ton of
coolest thing in the
willpower.
world.
It's definitely possible.
He is an undead. Undead usually don't have a high willpower.
Okay. Glade, you sense the crackle of magic ahead of you as well. You feel that there's danger in approaching directly, but you're out of range of whatever it is.
That is my turn.
Okay. Well.
Not sure how to follow that up.
Ariani is not on her horse. Which is a problem. She has her rapier. You just mentioned that it looks dangerous to approach. Like,
Glade has the sensation. You probably didn't notice it.
okay, if I didn't notice
When you get to
then-
the 0 meter line, you feel a sort of magical pressure in the air.
Okay, well, Ariani will at least start to approach.
Yeah, you can feel it pushing against you.
In the sense that, like, if I go any further, like, something bad will happen?
Yeah, you can feel the radiation of a very powerful spell ahead of you.
Okay, Ariana's gonna just stay here on the, Ariana's just gonna stay on the front line then. And she will... She's gonna like throw her hood off, and she starts. She kind of looks back at the others for a moment, and then she starts reciting, like from a book, like she's done several times before. But this time, she says, Tales of the Fairy Knight, Chapter 1. And she starts to recite a book about a fairy knight and her adventures. And she will give Ginga and Glade, who are near to her, the Flowing Fortunes, which is +1 to evasion. And that's my turn.
That means Ginga, Gregorio, Rena.
Okay. Gregorio's just going to kind of look around at the situation, kind of take a step back, and then look down to Rena, and place his good hand on her shoulder and just kind of say, well, we are in another unknowable, otherworldly dimension, so this doesn't count, right? And I'm going to cast Fanaticism on Rena.
Rena, you feel your blood rush a little faster. Gregorio, make that caster check.
Caster check. Conjure.
Rena, you felt this before when Wayla cast it on you. Your blood quickens, your eyes focus. Everything moves a little bit slower for you.
Gregorio is
And
going to
what
take
is
his
this?
hand off her shoulder and just be like, you got this shot, make it count.
Oh boy. And this gives me a +1 again?
Plus
correct?
two to
two.
accuracy, but -2 to evasion.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Before Rena goes, Ginga is going to kind of strike a little bit of a weird pose, pull their hand back, and I can't believe I'm casting this one. Gallant Beam! And we'll cast a spell on the Queen.
On Fia.
On Fia.
Okay.
That is
Ooh,
a
a 13?
13. I am
Gonna be
casting a flavored version of Dark Mist.
I got a 12. I got a 12 to resist.
Fia takes a -2 penalty to her evasion checks.
Oh, smart.
I think it'd be better if the dark hit, not missed. Just saying.
Well,
that is constructive criticism that I can agree with.
the mist
Oh,
hit.
damn it. I was muted.
It's a good mist. But it does
one of
look
my
like
mists.
a blue beam of light fires out of Ginga's fist and strikes Queen Fia.
The corpse-like body sort of roils back for a moment as the mist sort of billows up around her, and it clings to her and sort of makes it hard for her to move. You can feel almost as if like this corpse of Queen Fia is like jerking around trying to free itself from the mist.
I would say for flavor's sake, it's kind of like glowing blue like chains that are kind of hindering movement.
Ooh, perfect. These chains sort of like coil around and snap, and you can see as they pull, they kind of tear at the cloth and the flesh that's hanging off in ragged tatters, and you can see more of this sort of bluish, like draconic bone get exposed. Okay, Ginga, that's going to be you. Gregorio has gone. Rena
It's just me.
is going to take the shot, I suppose. Who are you taking the shot at?
Probably her, because realistically, Rena has no idea what Glade did besides tell her to die. Rena
True.
decides to help in that endeavor. I intend to assist.
Let's go, big bullet.
It's an 11. She's going to roll her evasion. Which is not great. Her evasion, we're rocking a 4. I got an 8. Rena, do some damage.
Please. We have to. So,
Your lance of light explodes across the battlefield.
the +1 is just for the accuracy too, right? Not this upcoming damage thing.
It's
Correct.
+2 to accuracy, yeah.
+2, not 1.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I
Some
hate
is
this.
better than none.
I need to stop using it as if it's gonna do a thing.
Your bullet smashes through the bony remains of Queen Fia, sending sparks flying, and chunks of rib cage go like blasting out the back. No sign of pain or intelligence in this undead puppet. And that's the party's turn. And we're gonna move on to the enemy's turn.
Make a willpower save.
Yeah.
13's the number to beat.
2d6 plus 5. 12.
That's,
One.
Ooh.
that's not a 13.
That's 2 then.
Yeah.
That's a count of 2.
True. True.
Mhm. We're a third of the way there.
And you watch as these kind of lambent blue flames that have sort of encircled Fia continue to sort of surge out into the darkness. So you're all standing on this sort of impossibly thin but somehow like wide enough to stand on line. There is a sort of distinct sensation of walking on the head of a pin here. A line of white gleaming, extending through the darkness like a spider web, just one strand. And Fia stands, and she sort of jerkily extends a hand up towards Glade. And Glade, I'm going to need a willpower check from you. And I'm going to do a quick caster check here.
The spooky girls are willpower checking each other.
Glade,
I
you're
always-
looking
there
for
it
a
is.
15 to...
Nope. 12.
Oh no.
Epic goth battle of history.
All right, we are looking at this one. It's not this one. Damn, sorry, I have a page up. One sec. There it is. There's what I'm looking for. Oh, excuse me. This hits an area. That's why I screwed up.
Oh,
Ariani and Ginga, I'm also gonna need you to
Uh-oh.
make me.
15's the number they gotta beat. Come
15's
on,
the number you gotta beat.
join me.
Sugoi.
Makes sense that Ginga would get it though.
Yeah. So a tie goes to the passive person, right? So you're gonna take half from this.
Uh-oh. And it's magical, so I don't get my defense either.
I just gotta get a power table up here real quick. That's nope. 10 crit value.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh.
That's gonna be 20 points of magic damage. This is poison damage, as a roiling wave of sort of dark purple erupts from the line and washes over the front line of the battle. Ginga, you take half. Ariani and Glade take full.
I want the record to show that I have no mana.
Yeah,
have no
I
mana.
noticed.
I have loads of mana and
I
nothing
have
to do
no
with it.
mana.
And the dragon continues puppeting the corpse, leaving it to the player's turn.
I deploy my geograph is already deployed. I'm at 2 now.
Also,
So
allow me
I'm
to clarify
going-
something for you for the sake of dramatic tension. Prior to this, you were in a play orchestrated by Kalon. When you were fighting, Kalon was setting the stage using fairy magic to tell you a story. This is not that. Kalon is here with you. Kalon is visible. There is no stage, there's no lights, there's no puppeteers other than the one you're watching. This is a very real and very dangerous scenario.
Life or death. My healing aspect is my new best friend, and I hope it definitely rolls on one of my injured party members both times. But that is my minor action. So my major action is going to be to throw a knife at the dragon. I'm just gonna see if I can hit that.
Okay.
Probably not.
Well, it's got a plus 17.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and say you could roll
Excuse
it
me,
just in
a
case
plus
it's a double
13.
one.
It's a plus 13. I will roll it. I'll roll it above the
it
board,
could
too.
be. It could be double ones.
So the dragon is
It
made of
won't be.
multiple segments.
Mhm.
It is the head, the body, and 2 wings.
I'm going for the
Oh.
head. Okay.
That's
well,
going to be a
19.
plus 2 then, so it'll be 21.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I think I missed that.
Your knife
But
just deflects off of the dragon scales.
I say as I back away 1 space, which is all I can move with my geograph deployed. Now I am. It is a 20-meter radius. That's everybody. Yeah.
Seems
I
to
think
be.
I only get the dragon's head segment there, right?
Yeah, you would only get its head segment, so only roll
Okay.
for 1.
Including Kalon then. 1 through 6
Yeah,
as
yeah.
always will still be the party.
Okay.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. That's a 1. I think a 1 is Ariani. I will let that go through as you heal for 4.
Yeah, I trust you to determine your targets for your geomancy. The kind of energy swirling around is so strong here, Ariani, that it's almost painful to manipulate. Like, so much energy is wasted just from the raw power of it just rushing out in every direction. You are in the place some of your power is drawn from. You're far away from the earth here, but you are absolutely on the conduit that it flows through. You realize from this that you are in the Wayfarer. You are in the place between.
Fascinating. My next roll is a 5, which looking at, because I know I had 1 through 6 as the party, with 6 being Heinthon. Heinthon's not here, so that'd be Ariani, Glade, Gregorial, Rena, Ginga. Ginga, you get healed for 4.
Good roll.
Those were good rolls. Thank you, Geomancy.
Cool.
The energy surges up through you.
I have spent my key points, and that is my turn.
All right, the rest of the party.
Okay, Ariani looks a little bit, worried and panicked. I'm assuming there's still the danger if I approach.
You can still feel it, yeah. Any closer, and you're gonna be peril.
Ariana's gonna go the opposite way then, and she's gonna move further away, because she is injured. She will actually, since I can do this at any point. Oh, I guess I should do this before moving, actually. Yeah. So before moving, Ariani, she kind of stops for a moment, and her story that she was telling stops for a second, but then she continues this tale of a fairy knight, blessed by the fairies, but working with the mortals. And this one is a lot more kind of. This tale is, rather than like the sort of the recounts of like actual battles and historic tales that she's told before. This one is a lot more kind of poetic and fantastical. But she keeps reciting it. She gives Glade and Ginga the +1 evasion once again. She moves to the sort of back line, and I don't really know if there's anything else I can do. I guess the only thing, with Ariani being as concerned as she is right now, because I haven't used my action yet either, Ariani is just gonna kind of, she's gonna close her eyes, and she's gonna think about Heinthon. And she just kind of mutters under her breath, like, I don't know if this is a place where you can hear it, but your presence would be very much appreciated.
Ariani. Ariani strides across the battlefield, gracefully ducking between Ginga and Glade, fluttering around with her sword, her sort of clothing flowy and loose, sort of flowing like fairy wings, and she recites a tale. She sort of sings a story of a fairy knight, a keeper of the peace, a defender of the downtrodden, a smiter of the wicked, but a joiner of families, one who reaches across and pulls people together. That's the tale of the fairy knight. And Ariani, you close your eyes, and I'm going to ask you for a 2d6 roll. I'm going to ask you for just a straight chance roll, and a 7 or higher. Something here.
Sure. That's an 8.
Ariani, you call out to Heinthon, and your blood may not be linked to Heinthon in any way, but your spirit resonates. And in this place between, this place of transition and rebirth, this place of magic flowing, this place of transition between realms, something thrums in the line you're standing on. And hoofbeats answer. Ariani? From behind comes Heinthon crashing into the place between, absolutely traveling into this realm like it was nothing. And
Heinthon
drops down onto his knees and slides underneath you, and he's up gracefully, coming to rest atop full Akira slide atop Heinthon.
Ariani quickly sheathes her rapier, and then attached to the side of Heinthon where she'd left it, she pulls out the long spear that she usually wields atop Heinthon. It's good to see you. Thank you, Heinthon.
Heinthon stomps, and you feel Heinthon's will here ring out in your head more clearly, and words form at the edges of your thoughts and says, I am with you, my lady. And Kalon looks and blinks and says, oh, the fairy knight.
Ariani kind of just looks over to Callum, and then looks back and doesn't say anything.
the rest of the party.
Okay. Gregorio is going to see this play out like directly in front of him, and just kind of place a hand on like Ariani's boot and just say, "Right, now that we are in business, time to make this count." And I'm going to cast Earth Heal on Ariani.
Oh, whoa.
And he's going to add, "Also, don't let anyone know that I did this."
Gregorio energy floods through the Wayfarer thread, almost as if it were starved for this energy. It was dry and thirsty for this kind of magic, and the magic pours into Ariani. Go ahead and roll your power check.
So this is...
You're
It's
eventually
power
gonna
0
cast
plus
this
your
on
spell
each
casting.
of us and just be like, don't tell anyone, and we'll all be holding the same secret.
I think I have it. At this point, I think I've done that to everybody apart from Ginga, so don't tell Ginga.
Yeah, don't tell Ginga.
That's all right. Ginga does it anyways.
Oh, you can't crit, though.
they're
You can't
above
crit
the
with
law.
Mm.
The crit is
It's still the biggest
impossible on
number
Earth
you can
Heal.
get, though.
It is. 4 plus
Okay.
your power.
My magic power is 6, so 10.
Can.
10 with Earth Heal. It's more than Wayla ever got.
Jeez.
It's what
Thank
levels
you.
do.
He's
Mhm.
gonna kind of tap a boot and say, "And also, can I borrow that story about the fairy knight when we get out of this? It sounds kind of interesting."
Ariani kind of grins. I can tell you about it later.
That's right. We have a job to do. Go get him, and that's my turn.
Then Rena, right?
Believe so. Gonna take a regular shot. Gonna take critical bullet off my bars, so to speak. So
Solid
that's a
bullet, that's an
10.
8.
Or does the accuracy thing not last?
Oh, it does. So that's a 10 then?
Okay, yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna roll. I'll roll this above the board just so you can see it. That's gonna be a 7.
Ooh.
It's actually a 7. So that's gonna be a hit.
Boy, I'm very disappointing today.
Boom! Another lance of white light trailing a projectile crashes through this bony monstrosity. It's starting to hang kind of ragged.
Ginga will very quickly turn to Glade and place a hand on her shoulder and say to her, "Yeah, don't tell anyone about this either." And we'll cast Earth Heal.
Now, this is an important question. Do I recognize this for the conjury that it is?
That's up to Ginga, I think.
Well, let's cast it and find out. That's a 13.
It sure worked. 2 plus power.
Heal 6.
That is very helpful. Do I
Ariani.
recognize it, Ginga?
Yeah, you definitely recognize that, as Ginga turns to you, they put one hand on your shoulder and kind of brace themselves and put one hand on the ground, and you know that this is conjuring.
If I wasn't in so much pain and danger, the face that Glade would make is indescribable. But right now, all that she wears is appreciation and slight bewilderment.
Ariani is 5 meters away from this. Does she see and hear this?
I think it's hard to miss.
Ariani just sort of rolls her eyes like, okay, I think after this, let's all tell each other our secrets.
You all have secrets?
Kalana's like, fine. So, we're gonna go back to the enemy's turn. And I'm gonna ask Glade and Ginga once again to make me a fortitude check.
And I'm gonna ask you to make a willpower check.
Oh, right! Right.
Yes.
13.
It's a 13. Let me make sure I'm getting the right number. Seems right? Yeah. 15.
No!
It was bound to happen. One day that spell will work, and it will be the hypest thing in the world. Until then, I never expect it to work.
You watch as the
You
blue
need
dragon kind of reaches down with one talon and flicks away your enchantment. Glade, not even making eye contact with you.
Fortitude or willpower did you ask for?
That's going to be a... oh, excuse me. Is it fortitude? Let me double check. It's going to be...
Last time I did willpower.
It is.
Same.
It is willpower.
Are we
Okay.
in an
Willpower.
outbreak?
Okay, let me re-roll that.
12.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh no!
All right.
Oh.
I'll roll this one above the board again.
I mean, last time she crit.
Yeah, so maybe it won't be as bad this time.
That's pretty low.
That's pretty
That's actually
low.
quite low. That's going to be 10 to both of you. Poison damage once again. Another wave of poison.
I would have been down by 1 had I not been healed. So thank you.
I got you.
All right. Back to the player's turn then.
I have a thing to do because geomancy.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get my heals out of the way before we determine who heals who, but I'm gonna actually do another aspect. This time spending 3 spirit key points for refresh. Which will be giving anyone who gets hit by it 6 extra mana, which would be very
Yeah.
useful right now.
Refreshment.
I wouldn't mind that, yeah.
It is still a D8, 1 through 5. Wait, now it's a D9 because Heinthon's here.
Anthony's here.
Okay, 1 through 6 being the party.
Glade, you are in the realm of spirit. Choose 3 targets instead of 2.
Ooh! I'm gonna roll so much dice. Okay, so I have to do this 6 times total then. So I'm gonna roll 6d9. Let's go, nice. Because that's 69. Love that.
69.
69. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. 1 through 6 being the party. Heals first and refresh after.
Refreshment.
Refreshment skeleton for president. Somewhere he drifts by in the void, remembered only by a few.
Heal number 1 is a 3, which is Gregorio. Gregorio, are you topped off?
I am fully. Yeah, I'm fine.
Well, you still heal for 4. 8
Okay.
is enemy, so cancel. 1 is Ariani, so
That's
Ariani,
me.
you heal 4. You also get 4 mana back, even though you don't need it.
Do I get
And so does your horse. But
appreciate
also,
fun.
Rena gains 6 mana.
Ooh. Love that.
Useful.
Yep.
That's
I
some
love
good geomancy rolls.
I love geomancy when it works.
Geomancy is cool.
It is cool. Did I ever pick up any potions like a smarter adventurer would have? Sure didn't. I know
I
what's
don't
next
recall
on
you
my
doing
shopping
so.
list. At present moment, then, it seems like my best option is to throw a knife.
At the
Which I will
dragon or
do.
at the lich?
At the
Excuse me,
lich.
The abyss corpse. Oops.
At the lich. The Abyss Corpse.
Before you do that, DM,
Yeah.
handing an item to somebody, is that a minor action or a major action?
It's a
I think it's
minor
a-
action.
I believe it's minor, yeah.
It is.
Okay.
I think to use an item is a major action, depending on feats and stuff that you have.
Yeah, but I
but-
think a minor action you can just toss stuff back and forth between each other as long as you're within like,
Yeah.
a reasonable range. I don't
think
mind.
I remember something about like Oh, I don't remember. It's something about like characters need to share space to hand an item to each other, and like
There
I think one of them
is
uses
a
an
rule
action.
about it. I don't remember what it is.
Mm.
But you're in this space. This is kind of boss fight territory. I feel like I don't mind.
Mhm.
Okay, and how far?
Understandable.
How far can I move doing these things?
I think what would need to happen is that I would move back on my turn the 1 space I'm allowed, and you would move the 1 forward on your turn that you are allowed.
Mm,
That makes sense. Yeah. If you're
that's
cool with that.
smart.
Yeah, that works. That works. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I am still well. Now this is up to Hesper. I don't think turns can go at the same time, and I'm already in mine.
I'm okay with it. Be flexible.
Okay. Then I won't throw my knife. What are you handing to me?
I'm handing you a healing potion.
I am drinking the healing potion. How much do I heal?
Hand it directly to my face.
Please.
Could I roll to toss one to Gengar?
I think you can just toss one to Ginga.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Ginga has to use it on their turn, but
Is Ginga gonna stay in the front as well, or gonna move back?
We probably shouldn't be clumped up.
Well,
Yeah.
Ariani looks like she's about to go forward and take up the front. She's preparing to charge.
Heard.
Uh,
Power 20. Okay.
Okay, so I've thrown 2 potions.
I heal 5.
I suppose as my major action, I'd probably just take a shot. Sorry, my main plan was to hand off those potions. I hadn't really. Actually, can I hit Glade with a healing? No, actually, no, not a healing bullet. I'm going to put a hand on Glade's shoulder and cast Earth Heal.
yeah, go for it.
You're so kind.
And also lock eyes with her and like put
tell
like with my other
anyone.
hand, just kind of do across my lip, just like.
You start and I go, I don't care, as I am like seriously wounded.
I
It's
think
not you
everyone
I'm
knows
trying
by
to
now.
keep it a secret from. It's not you I'm keeping it a secret from.
You have no idea.
It's a secret to everybody.
Okay, and then what is it? Oh gosh. Power 0 plus 6, right. Plus 6. 6.
Yippee! That puts me at a much more respectable and less dangerous 16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's my turn. Thank you, Hester.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Ariani will, first of all, she continues reciting the tales of the fairy night, talking about these sorry, my brain just turned off while I was talking. I apologize.
That's okay.
As she's talking about like these, the heroic exploits. That's what I'm looking for. Of the fairy knight, who like fought on behalf of the humans and the fairies and worked to bring peace between them.
The unifier.
As she will give Rena, Gregorio, and Glade, they all receive the +1 evasion. And then she's going to charge forward up to here, but not go any closer to get hit by whatever the...
You can feel the pressure
Yeah.
still there, yeah.
Yeah, she's not going to go any closer than that, but she's going to kind of take up the front, and she looks back to Ginga just like, it's my turn now. Step back.
Go for it.
Ariani, you feel as if you could probably strike whatever's in the air in front of you.
Then Ariani will do that. She takes her spear and she slashes across it.
Yeah, go ahead and make the attack.
Mm-hmm. So that will be...
I am with you, lady. Let us tell our tale together, and what a tale it shall be!
What a
As my
tale!
son is gleefully charging forward.
And I will use my aimed attack to give myself +1 accuracy. I also get +1 accuracy for being on top of Hindthon, which means that this 11 is a 13.
2d6, 6. I'm rocking a big 12 on that.
Okay, that's less than
Ariani,
my
you
number.
slash forward, revealing a wall of necrotic fire. It immolates suddenly. It creates this like a 10-foot high wall of what was previously invisible flame, and it is connected back to Fia's kind of bony feet. And you slash through, deal some damage.
Okay, I will. So that is here. Which is 8 damage. And oh wait, I just wait. Okay, I just realized something, and then I realized something. Okay, so it's not actually. I don't actually get +1 to hit. It's +1 to damage on my horse, but I have +1 anyway from the thing that you gave me earlier for succeeding that check right at the start. So it hits anyway.
Beautiful.
So it's fine. It evens out. But I do get the +1 to damage here, so that's 9 damage.
Your blade, kind of ancestral blade, the fairy knight blade, as I recall, the spear is specific to the fairy knight.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Like stained glass cuts a pattern through this wall. Scintillating light, gleaming in many colors, shines amidst the monochromatic blue flame and dissipates it for just a moment before it rushes back up. You did some damage to it, though.
Okay. Ariane kind of calls back to the others. We can get through this wall. But heal up first. She seems kind of renewed in confidence, and that'll be my turn.
And she's fully exposed now, right? She's fully revealed.
Well, she has her hood off. She still has a cloak on, but she's,
Okay.
you know.
She's certainly more visible. Okay.
She doesn't seem as concerned about hiding it.
I think there is something in your countenance that wants to be seen. So I'll leave it to you. But who is next? The Ginga didn't go, right?
I haven't gone yet, no.
I don't think I have.
And I don't think Rena did.
Yeah.
Ginga, if only you could fly. There's a 10-foot wall of fire in front of you.
If only.
Want some jump boots?
I mean, not
We
like
can
you
give
really
you jump
hand him
boots.
over from.
If only you had the wings of Lakai.
The Magisphere transforms into a pair of Magitech boots, which are immediately equipped to the caster's feet. Damn it. Never mind.
The fitness
Never
grand
mind.
pacer
You
test
you
is
may
a
look
multi-level.
upon them.
It's fine. My turn. I slammed that potion that Gregorio gave me.
Makes sense.
That's what, power 20?
Power 20, no modifier.
Good stuff.
Oh.
That's an action to drink that, right?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
3. Huh.
I do have some way to make you fly.
Do you?
I do. Wing Flyer. It's a level 1 nature spell. For the duration of the effect, the target can fly through the air. Movement speed is the same as that on the ground.
No
Also, the target
way!
gains a +1
What?
roll to all accuracy checks for melee attacks and evasion checks against melee attacks.
Nature spells are cool. It's a combat prep move too.
Is it really?
Haven't
It's
had
got the
this
little
issue
triangle.
until now. Yeah.
Oh my god,
I don't-
druids are cool!
If
Yeah.
you want to do that
Need to
instead.
Yeah,
It's
I
also
was
a
not
minor
reading
action.
fast enough to catch up with what y'all were getting up to, but yes, that would be a thing that I would like to do. Because I was looking at jump boots and I was like, okay, I'll go look at the druid, and y'all moved on. So yes.
So it lasts for 1 round, which means you will have 1 movement of flight for landing.
Okay.
So Rena will have to spend her action. It's a minor action to cast Wing Flyer.
Is it? Oh my god.
It is a minor action, so you will be able to. There's no caster check for it. You can't fail it, and you'll still be able to cast a regular spell.
If you go.
Alright.
Rena, you hold your staff in both hands, kind of vertically in front of you. You close your eyes, and the sort of scintillating wind swirls out from you, elevating Ginga. And Ginga, the wings can take whatever form you want.
Oof. Let's say, for the sake of sticking with the whole armored theme, they are just gigantic metallic, like bird wings, just sharp feathers everywhere.
Wonderful. Storm Eagle theme plays. Rena, you still have your spell. We'll finish up your turn before we get to Genghis then.
I shoot it.
Yeah. I shoot it. 15, I'm going to go ahead and roll this. Oh, you're actually at a 17, right?
Yes.
That's a 16.
How do you keep missing by just one?
Wait, no, that's a 15. Excuse me. I added +7. It's supposed to be +6.
Can you just give me this, please? This is awful and terrible and unfair, and I do not like it.
Wait, why wouldn't I give it to you? You rolled a crit.
And you have fanaticism.
Well, no, because
fanaticism.
you said that was a 15, and they would meet, which favors the defender.
But you have fanaticism.
It's one lower.
Oh my god, you're right. I already forgot. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never
you're a
mind.
17.
Yeah.
And you crit.
Rena, that looks like 19 damage.
It does. Critical bullet is dead to me.
Rena
Yeah,
is a crit
you
machine.
never crit with critical bullet, but you crit with solid bullet constantly. I can't believe it.
It's
So-
it's
It's
ridiculous
unreal.
and very annoying.
I want to share this with you. So normally speaking, and this is something that Glade would know, Abyss Corpse is a specific type of monster, normally comprised of two halves. This is a variant of that monster, where the top half would be the corpsey lich, and the bottom half would be the wall of flame. I've skinned it a little. So it has a defense of 2 on the upper body. Rena did 19 damage. It has 17 hit points remaining.
Beautiful.
So Rena, what happens? I leave it to you. You could just say, I shoot it, and I'll take the reins, of course, but...
Yeah, I shoot it. I wasn't thinking in this. I was just like, yep.
I
fired
shoot it
my
with my gun.
Rena. The wall of flame roars, erupting, immolating inferno, conflagration of blue flame, blue with streaked with white, this dragon fire, impossible to penetrate. And Ariane strides forward atop Heinthon and pushes down across it with her sort of stained glass blade, and the fire parts for just one moment. And you see the skeletal face of the former Queen Fia, and you line up your sight. And you take the shot. Your staff accelerates your projectile. There's sort of a resonant echo. It leaves this sort of shockwave in the air as it travels. And it punches through the bone, the skeletal head, with an explosion of bone shards, shattering with a clatter the top of this being. And you watch as like the ribs begin to peel away and fall down. The strings now cut. And it sort of collapses into a pile of bones that begin to fall away through the wayfair, sort of drifting off into nothingness around the thread that you're on top of. And as this creature falls, the wall of flame gutters slowly out. The dragon takes a moment to approach and looks down at all of you. And it says, "Not an ounce of blessing among you. Who are you who are so concerned with fate?"
Glade looks very angry at this dragon. People trying to set the world right.
The dragon narrows its eyes at you. "Then I wish you luck." And with that, they wing over and fly away further into the place between, and the flames finish guttering out. And around you, you hear the sound like ice beginning to crack, glass starting to split, and a split appears in the sky above, and the sky cracks and falls away. And the ground beneath you, the starry expanse, is replaced by cold, solid cobble. And as this image of the Wayfarer peels away, it falls, leaving only the sarcophagus remaining. Glade, your hand right on the sarcophagus where you placed it. And you look inside. And there is a body in there. There is a woman's skeleton dressed in rotting finery. The flesh decayed far too quickly, and there are burrs and brambles coiled through the ribs, choking out her mouth, out her eye sockets. But you do see strips of blue, kind of this iridescence on the bone. This is a person with the blood of a dragon. This is a person who was born to rule in Ennam. Discarded and buried to the side. And a figure shimmers into being in the air in front of you, Glade. There is a woman. She is youthful. She has a look of passion on her face and a steely countenance with which she regards you. And she hovers above the sarcophagus like the other images. And she looks down at you and sort of narrows her eyes.
I smile at her and I wave. If she doesn't react, I say, "Why are you buried here alone when you should be with the others?"
And you watch as dragon fire erupts from her heart, quickly growing to encompass the whole of her. And her physical form appears where the flame vanishes, and in smoke she alights gently, clack, clack, heeled shoes atop her own sarcophagus. And she looks down at you. They called me betrayer. But I was never a betrayer. I was true to my purpose from the start. And my goal accomplished. Though my grave be untended, my business is settled. Rot and decay. And with flame licking up around her, she looks at the group of you, particularly eyeing like Calantha and Ginga, and then over to Ariani.
Ariane's
And
looking at her
when
with this
your
kind of scowl.
monarchy dies, when your dalliance turns to rot in your mouths like poison fruit, my blood will be sated. And the last of her disappears into dragonfire.
Neat.
I go and test one of the vines, see if I'm able to cut it or if it comes back like it did before.
Oh, the hatred is still animating these. There is a furious and insane madness towards this woman.
Well, I say, looking over at Calon.
Now you know. Now you've seen everything. All of the parts, all of the acts. You even went backstage a little. Now, you can ask me a question if you want. I'll tell you as much as I know. Because you said you wanted to save everything and set the world right. And that's what I want too. And Callan sort of flies over to you. But it's messy and sad. Pretty much all the time.
I'm like nodding sympathetically and like wipe a little bit of blood off my chin. It's tough out there, and it gets tougher all the time.
But now you know about the blood.
We do. That is very, very helpful.
But you don't know where the blood. Or who did the taking. Oh, but those could be your question for me. I know those things.
Well, then I suppose I have my question for you, Calon.
I
Who
suppose.
took the blood and where did they put it?
Well, that's 2 questions. No fair. You're
No.
cheating. You made 2
It-
questions, 1 question.
Ah, but it was one question, for I cannot know where it ended up without knowing who took it. And I cannot know where they would. I cannot know this without knowing the context.
You're hopeless. You're not playing the game right. And she flutters over to Rena. Rena, make her play the game right. You do nature magic.
I thought you
Rena
were
has
supposed.
never scowled harder. No one has ever seen Rena look so annoyed and angry.
Ariani.
Ariani,
nothing.
you're the fairy knight. Come on. You gotta make her play by the rules.
Well, Callum, will you tell us where the blood is?
Oh, you brought your pony with you. And she like flutters down and like pets Heinthon on the nose. Can you go upstairs?
Pardon?
Heinthon like kind of shakes his head back and forth and sort of like wobbles you. Oh, horses. Oh, I'm thinking of cows.
Right. Callum, I'm not the fairy knight, but I think I want what the fairy knight wanted.
To get obliterated by rainbow magic?
No, I don't think she
Okay.
wanted No, I don't think she wanted that. I think that she wanted to fix things between the Fae and the humans, and I thought,
Well, yeah, that's what a chosen does. What did you think the chosen of Mafanwe would do? And Calantha sort of blinks at you, Ariani.
well, isn't that Calantha? But also,
Yeah, now it is.
Look, I thought that the Fae were the ones at fault. I was scared of you when we came in here.
I'm not scary, I'm small. You can crush me with a rock. Rena's been doing it for a while in her head.
I guess if you don't know the answer to the question, that's
I do. Stop.
She could crush you with a
You're gonna
rock.
make me cry. Okay, you want to know who took the blood and where the blood is? Well, I guess Urius took the
Well,
blood.
How
And,
about this? We'll
Huh?
offer
Wait,
you.
we are being answered, please.
Well, it's only fair. It's only fair if we're asking you an additional question that you get to ask a question of us.
Hey, this is why you're the fairy knight. Okay, so who took the blood? Wait, you go first. Hold on. You go first. What's your question? Wait, no, I get to ask you a question. Wait, I like
After you're
this.
done answering
Yeah,
the
well,
first one.
you answer our questions and then you can ask us a question. Otherwise, it'll get confusing.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'll figure it out.
You really must be the fairy knight, the way that you colluded with them here.
She helped us, and
I mean, I did my
want
best.
to repay that. I thought that she
You're-
was.
You were obliterated.
I was, but I found out
My
about
rainbows.
It wasn't pleasant, but Look, I thought that the Fae were the ones that were causing everything to go wrong, and
Well, they kind of did.
but they also kind of didn't. And I think
Okay. Then I'll ask a question after I answer your question
right,
and question. And then we'll be square.
right.
So kinda Urius is the one who took the blood, I guess. Where is it now? Well, Prince Keta has it. And now it's my question. My question is what are you gonna do next?
Probably with a rock.
Confront Kethri.
I think we need to speak to Ketu as well.
He needs to be brought to justice.
Need to get to the
Ketu or
bottom of
Kefri?
this.
Kefri.
Kethri, obviously.
Kefri.
Right.
Oh, did he do bad?
Maybe. But this is really important. Don't tell him that.
Right. Only because the fairy knight's with you.
Thank you.
I mean, I got 2 chosen.
You did do a very good job.
Thanks. Oh, 2 questions for 2 chosens. That's so smart. Okay.
Right.
So I answered your question, right? You're happy?
Yes.
Yeah, and we answered yours.
Okay. And then
Let's
She's gone.
talk about negotiation.
I think we won. She only got to get one answer from us
You're
before she
right.
disappeared. I think we won that one.
That pop was so similar to the sound of a lemming exploding. I just can't. It was the same little.
The,
Like, she's just a bunch of
instant
pixels
transmission
now.
from Dragon Ball Z abridged.
Mhm. It was literally that. So, I suppose that does beg the question what you plan to do next. But I suppose you'll have a week or so to think about it, won't you?
Well,
Sounds about
I mean,
right.
realistically, it'll only
It
be a few
sounds about
minutes,
right.
but maybe it'll feel like a week or so.
So, Irius took the blood, and Prince Keta has it.
I like this loaf of bread I have in front of me here. It's a good loaf of bread.
She's been gathering the breadcrumbs and reassembling them.
I have my sweet nut loaf. It's delicious. It's got all these seeds in it. It's perfect.
Everybody loves
Dude.
nut loaf.
Who doesn't though, right? Like everybody does. Are we rolling our growth now?
Everybody's gonna gain 1,050 more experience.
1,050 more.
Yeah, 50 for the fight, and then 1,000 for accomplishing a major objective and entering the 3rd and final act of the one-shot Heartbroken.
Okay.
Alright,
How
we'll
now
have
you
enough.
know
1,050,
where-
you said.
Mm-hmm.
1,050, because now you
Okay.
know where Mephanwe's stolen blood ended up. Prince Keta. The blood that was promised to Mephanwe by Irius under the guise of Fletcher during his time roaming. Irius, who returned to his kingdom at the death of his father, took a wife and betrayed the Fae.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in to Expanse Enduring Heartbroken Episode 4, Promises. I hope you enjoyed. If you've been watching here on Twitch, make sure you check out the YouTube, where the VODs are uploaded for every week. And if you're watching over on YouTube, you can catch this live on twitch.tv/AsianX almost every Sunday, though we do occasionally have to take breaks. I hope we will see you next time for the next episode as we approach the final act. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.
Goodbye!
Bye.